sabi po ni Teacher Flor, may LR on wheels, tablet po daw yung gagamitin namin. First time ko po makahawak ng tablet kaya kinabahan po ako. Ngunit nang nakita ko si Teacher Flor sa video, masaya ako dahil para ko lang siyang kasama at para lang kami mag face to face at parang nandun lang kami sa klase dahil nakikita at naririnig ko siya. Doon sa video, sinabi na ni Ma'am Flor kung ano ang gagawin namin dahil naka-arrange na po yung mga activity, yung mga gagawin na po namin. Nandun na po yung mga leksyon na ituturo po sa amin. At yung quiz po namin, nalalaman po namin yung score namin at yung mga tamang sagot po.
Man Teacher Flor gami nung tong tablet view. Ablela di view dan nga school. Bagamitim lahaw kabay gamin liro do lagara may kureti katdo may ron di dan nga mi. Yung mismo kami lagara mi.
Yung WLEN. I-on na siya. Okay. Tapos,
may kanto may tag-testing, tag-tilaw mi. Bong view dula am limahan.
ito rin nga icon.
Marami po akong natutunan. Yung natutunan ko po, pwede ko pong maituro sa mga nakakabatang kapatid ko po. At marami din po ako nakukuha doon at sobrang saya ko po dahil first time ko po yung nagawa. Sabay ko po akala ko hindi na po ako makakagawa ng mga ganitong technology dahil nasa bundok ko kami, malayo kami doon sa ibaba. Pero salamat po sa LR on Wheels dahil sa tulong po nila nakakahawak na po kami ng tablet, nakakapag-aral na po kami kahit hindi po man namin personal na nakikita yung teacher namin, nakakita at naririnig po namin sila dahil sa tablet na ibinigay nila sa amin.
Naya gudi nga go gaflos ikaskulan nagwa ani nayaan dilawilan maging teacher.
Gusto ko pong maging guro dahil gusto ko pong tumulong sa mga batang gusto din mag-aral. Katulad ko po, isang mahirap lang din na nakatira sa bundok. Gusto ko pong makatulong din sa mga yung sa mga batang ayaw mag-aral, tapos ako po yung magtutulak sa kanila para mag-aral po sila. Kaya gusto ko pong makatapos ng pag-aaral. At gusto ko pong makatulong sa mga magulang ko dahil wala din po silang pinag-aralan, kaya gusto ko pong matyagang mapag-aral dahil gusto ko pong mapag-aral yung sarili ko dahil napag-isipan ko sa sarili ko na wala din pong pinag-aral yung mga magulang ko. At yung mama ko na lang ho ang gustong paaralin ako kahit wala na po akong papa. Kaya kung gusto ko pong mag-aral dahil gusto ko rin tulungan yung mga kapatid ko.
Bong pasalamat mi di DepEd Sarangani di tabangan nagaflos iran nga mi di ka school.
Maraming salamat sa LR on Wheels dahil po kahit po may COVID-19 po ngayon, hindi po yung naging hadlang para hindi po kami makapag-aral. Maraming salamat po sa LR on Wheels.
Ako si Pambing Nueva na babalita.
Anak, sabihin mo kung ano ang nilalaman ng puso mo.
Thank you, Tay!
Tay, naaalala mo ba nung niregaluhan mo ako ng mikropono? Ang sabi mo sa akin, susuportahan mo ko kahit anong gusto ko. Ang lagi mo pang ang bilin, anak, Sundin mo kung anong nilalaman ng puso mo.
Ganda talaga.
Lagi mo ring pinapaalala na ako ang pinakamaganda. Mas maganda pa sa mga crush mong artista sa TV. Alam mo ba, Tay? Pinaniwalaan ko yun.
Ako, si Pam Villanueva, nagbabalita.
Hindi mo naman kasi sinabing mahilig ka sa mga palabas na comedy. Yan tuloy. Umasa ako masyado. Hindi ko inakalang iba pala ang pamantayan ng mundo. Hindi ko napaghandaan ang sakit ng mga salita mula sa tao. Ganun pa man, hindi ko kinalimutan ang bilin mo. Tay, ngayong araw, maglalakas loob ulit akong sundin ang laman ng puso ko. Ngayong araw, tutuparin ko ang pangarap nating dalawa. Handa na akong yakapin ang pagkakataong ito. Ano man ang sabihin ng iba.
Good morning, everyone. It's going to be a long and hard journey. There will be a lot of sweat and a lot of tears. I expect a lot from you, but in the end, when you become teacher broadcasters, it'll all be worth it. Are you ready? Yes! Your task at hand is to deliver your lines straight at the camera lens.
Greetings, bright minds. I hope you're having an amazing day. It's me, your English learning buddy.
Good job, DJ. Okay, next. Any volunteers? May nagtatago doon. Teacher Pam. Teacher Pam, I can see you.
Sa pagkakataong ito, babaliin ko ang pamantayan ng mundo.
Magandang wika at maalab na panitikan sa ating lahat, grade 10. Narito kayo ngayon sa classroom ni Miss Pam. Ang mamatanong na kahit sa camera laging umaanggulo, maniwala ka, sasamahan kitang mag-enjoy at matuto. Tatandaan, sa panitikang Filipino, abot kamay mo ang mundo.
All right.
Haharap ako sa kamera upang magturo. Upang hindi lamang makulong ang mga aral sa 4 na sulok ng silid-aralan. Upang mas maraming bata ang makaalam na ang mga pangarap ay binuo upang matupad.
Okay, teachers, dito nagwawakas ang ating workshop, pero hindi ang inyong training. Bye-bye.
Haharap ako sa kamera upang magturo. Para mas maraming bata ang makaalam na kahit matagal ang proseso ng pangarap, ang mahalagay umuusad. Tay, naaalala mo ba nung niragaluhan mo ko ng mikropono? Hindi ko to nagamit kanina. Pero, nagamit ko lahat ng paalala mo. Hindi na rin pala ako naniniwalang kasing ganda ko ng mga crush mong artista. Pero, mapapanood mo na ako sa TV para sa mas malalim pang advokasya.
Director June, just checking my audio. Can I be heard? And is my audio okay? Can you hear me?
Rinig ka, ma'am. Okay, I think there's a problem with so ayun. So let me repeat. Okay, magandang umaga po sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay sa DepEd Philippines. Napanood po natin kanina yung ating si Teacher Pam. Siya po ang ating teacher broadcaster na mag-MC po sa ating national kick-off sa October 5 ng ating school opening. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ng mga taga-subaybay sa DepEd Philippines, ang ating mga magulang, ang ating mga guro, ang ating mga learners, no, ang ating mga media partners din. At 2 weeks na nga lang po ay magbubukas na ang ating mga pampublikong paaralan. Sa ngalan po ng Public Affairs Service ng DepEd Central Office, ako po si June Arvin Godoy. At ngayong umaga, of course, kasama natin ang ating mga tagapagsalita. We have Undersecretary Annalyn Sevilla, USEC Diosdado San Antonio, USEC Revsi Escobedo, and of course we have with us USEC Jess Mateo as well, and the Secretary, Ma'am Liling Briones, will join us shortly. So ngayong umaga po ang ating tema ay ang mga testimonya po ng ating mga magulang at mga mag-aaral para po suportahan ang pagbubukas ng klase sa October 5. At makakasama rin natin, of course, si Undersecretary Josephine Maribohok, our USEC for Legal Affairs, and Director Abram Abanil ng DepEd ICTS. Sa ating mga spokespersons po, ating mga resource persons, I should say, we have Aliyah Nicole Sayo. Siya po ay Pangulo ng SSG Ilocos National High School. Good morning, Aliyah. And then we have Ana Abigail Ticzon, Pangulo po ng SSG San Pablo City Science Integrated High School, Laguna. And we have Mr. Edmund Cardona, GPTA President ng Kawayan, Isabela. And Attorney Ron Perez, FPTA President ng Baguio City. And then, of course, we have Ma'am Bonnie Coranias Manlunas, FPTA President ng Antipolo City. At sila po ay magbibigay ng kanilang presentation shortly. So to begin our virtual press conference, our 7th episode ng Handang Isip Handa Bukas, may we ask po sa pambungad na salita galing sa ating Undersecretary for Finance, USEC Annalyn Sevilla. Ma'am? Wala pong audio, ma'am. Ayun, okay na pa.
Hello, yan. Okay na? Thank you very much. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. It is a very pleasant morning. At makasama po natin ngayon ang ating mga pamilya sa Department of Education, EXECO members, MANCOM members, mga principals, school heads, teachers. I will also greet the accountants and the budget officers because I'm in finance. They're all preparing our salary and benefits kahit po tayo ay nasa pandemic. So I would like to also recognize them. Of course, kasama natin ang ating mga partners sa media. Every Monday, ito na po ang ating date. Nanonood at sumusubaybay sa ating DepEd Facebook website ang ating mga mag-aaral at lalong-lalo na ang ating mga magulang or guardians na naghahanda para sa ating October 5 school opening. Ang araw na ito ay nakadedicate po para sa ating mga magulang, guardians at sino pa man ang nagsusubaybay sa ating mga mag-aaral. Bago po ang ating gagawin ngayon, wala na ho yung face-to-face school setup natin itong October 5. Kaya napaka-importante na tayo po ay mag-usap. In fact, meron po ngayong ginagawang webinar ang ating USEC for Curriculum and Instruction. Ito po ay tungkol sa ating parenthood responsibilities. No, paano ang mga roles and responsibilities ng mga magulang ngayong tayo ay nasa blended learning. Kasabay po yan ng press conference natin ngayon. At meron po tayong kasabihan na nagsasabi, ang nakikita sa matatanda, ang siyang ginagaya ng mga bata. Kaya napaka-importante na
kausapin at siguraduhin natin na lalo na po ang mga magulang at guardians ay alam ang ating gagawin sa blended learning approach natin. Sa pagtutulungan ng national at local na pamahalaan, makikita natin na maaaring umusad at ituloy ang pagharap natin sa ating hamon ngayon. There are concrete and strong examples of what our learners should manifest in applying the 21st century skills. And I think hindi po hadlang ang ating krisis ngayon para magkaroon ng 21st century skills ang mga bata. Ano po itong 21st century skills? Collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. Ito lamang press conference na ginagawa natin ngayon. Nagmamanifest na yan ng 21st century skills. At ng responsible parenthood ay defined din or pwede rin mag-manifest kung paano ang mga magulang ay binavalue ang mga kinabukasan or future of their children. And today, ngayong araw na to, September 21, we will give recognition, appreciation, and we will showcase the DepEd's active partnership with the parents through its Parent-Teacher Association or the PTAs. They will share their experiences, innovative and strong-willed interventions to implement the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Kanina po, inintroduce ni Director June ang ating mga bisita. Sila po ang ating mga active na mga taga-suporta. Of course, we honor and we also recognize the teachers and the principals, pero hindi po kumpleto ang picture pag wala ang mga parents. Kaya po ang Parents Teacher Association support to the BELCT ang ating pong pag-uusapan ngayong araw na ito. Ang ating pong presidente ng PTA from the Ilocos Sur National High School, Ma'am Sayo, will be here. Presidente po ng San Pablo City Science Integrated High School sa Laguna, si Ma'am Tixon, will also be here. Presidente ng Hawaiian Isabela, ng General PTA, si Sir Cardona will also be here. Ang FPTA President ng Baguio, Attorney Perez, will also be around. The Child Protection Program po, importante, isa pa po to, we will focus and present to you the Child Protection Policy of the Department. Why? Because we want to ensure that our learners are safe and protected not only from the virus or the pandemic of COVID-19, but they are also protected for their rights and welfare. Nirespeto po natin yan at ating pinoproteksyonan. Ang ating Undersecretary Jo Marie Buhok will walk us through with the updates from the DepEd side. And finally, yung pong pangatlong event na nangyayari sabay-sabay ay yung DepEd PV Final Air Test. We have the final air test broadcast of the DepEd PV starting today. Director Abram Abanil will provide more details about that later at kasama po yan sa pag-uusapan natin. So, mabuhay po tayong lahat. Lahat po ng katuwang natin sa pagpapatuloy ng edukasyon, lalo na sa panahon na ito. Makikita at matututo ang mga kabataan sa pamamagitan ng ating pagtutulungan at pagpaparamdam sa kanila na sila ay ating mahal, inaalagaan at ginagabayan. Magandang umaga. Over to you, Director June.
Good morning, ma'am, at maraming salamat po. Ngayon naman ay darako tayo sa presentation ng ating mga resource person ngayong umaga. But before that, I would like to thank, of course, Tirad Pass Network, yung mga naka-live stream ngayon at nagsisyndicate ng ating press conference sa kanilang mga probinsya. You have Planet Cable, DWAT, CLTV 36, Romblon Cable, Kabangkalan Community Antenna Cable, Camiguin Island Cable TV Corporation, and of course, Kalibo Cable TV Network. At ayun na nga. So ating i-welcome ang ating unang tagapagsalita ngayong umaga. Siya ay si Alia Nicole Sayo. Siya po ay President ng SSG Ilocos Sur National High School. Take it away, Alia. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Sir June. So today, I will be talking about as students, how do we support the Department of Education in the new normal learning or the new system of the Department of Education. So first, baka tatanungin din yan mamaya, why do I am supporting the Department of Education for the school year 2020-2021? Kasi po, kung titignan natin, there are many options para para mag-aral for this school year, we have three options. First is the blended learning, which is nandun yung online, yung modular distance learning, and TV-based radio learning. So, second, this is the modular distance learning, and the third one is TV-based or radio-based. So, first of all po, I want to share with you our preparations in our division in SDO Vegan City here in the province of Ilocos Sur. Last August, we have started our simulation of the modular distance learning. So here in SDO Vegan City, ang na-approve po na mode of learning namin is the modular distance learning. So here, dito, last August, nagkaroon kami ng simulation or dry run for grade 12 students, and ang ginawa po ng aming SDO, ang Schools Division Office namin, is that noong August, nagkaroon ng simulation for grade 12 students. So, ang ginawa po nila dito is the sampling wherein they have chose different students in different schools here in Vegan City, and ang pagbibigay po nila ng modules sa mga students is they give it to the barangay officials, and then ang mga barangay officials po ang nagbibigay ng modules sa aming mga students. And noong last week, kakatapos lang din po ng simulation namin. Ang ginamit naman po namin is population po. So, for this dry run, we have top grade 9, 10, and 11 students naman. So, ang ginawa po namin dito, ang parents naman ang kukuha ng modules sa school ng mga learners natin. They get the modules every Saturday, and they also submit the modules of the student every Saturday. And also, here in Vegan, we have two different kinds of modules. So yung una po is the printed one, which is ang binibigay mismo sa students ay yung hard copy na. And then, the second one is digital, wherein pwede itong makita or pwede natin itong i-download through internet, and also using QR codes and using USBs or flash drives. So next slide please. So yes po, and also even though we are in the using the modular distance learning, we have still different media partners from the city of Vigan and in the province of Ilocos Sur. So, una po dyan ay ang TVgan, which is a local TV station of the city government. Next, we also have the PTV Ilocos, which is a local TV network here in the province of Ilocos Sur. Also, may ka-tie-up din po kaming radio stations gaya ng Bombo Radio Vegan, wherein ang gagamitin po dito is ang podcast. So, the podcast is that yung mga tatalakayin ng teachers is that mare-record, then it will be sent to the students. And also, we have a partner with cable stations such as the Vegan Satellite and the Eagle Vision, which is nakikita nyo po ngayon sa ating slides, and they have signed a memorandum of agreement already. Next slide, please. Ayan. So, nakikita nyo po sa taas, there are different logos of from the government sectors and other organizations here in our province and our city. So, ang talagang malaking kapartner po ng SDO Vegan City is the city government of Vegan and the province of Ilocos Sur for this school year 2020 and 2021. As of now, the city government had installations for the for the hand washing facilities for the 21 public schools here in Vigan City, both as elementary and secondary. Also, the panlungsod na federasyon ng Sangguniang Kabataan in Vigan City have already distributed hand washing kits for all of the 21 schools and also for the 39 child development centers of the city. And also, we in the Supreme Student Government in our school in Ilocos Sur National High School, we have installed a hand washing facility also that can really help our teachers and students for especially yung pag-follow natin ng isa sa mga protocols, which is the proper hand washing. And also, there are different sectors in the province and in the city that help already the our school and the schools division office of Vigan City by donating different materials that can be used during the opening of classes, such as disinfectants and other healthcare essentials. Next slide, please. Also, you can see in the slides that we have received 3 risograph machines from the city government of Vigan, wherein it can be used for during the printing of modules. And also, we have received riso machines from the DPWH here in the province and also from the provincial government of Ilocos Sur. Also, may mga kapartner din po ang schools and the division office na different organizations such as the Synergia Foundation. So for the past months, the Synergia Foundation had an online parenting workshop for the parents naman. So they had an online workshop named Nanay Tatay Teacher Ka Ba, wherein it is attended by different parents and guardians all over the country, and ang mga participants din po ay from Vigan City Division din. So here in this online parenting workshop, may nag-attend din po na Bigenyo parents here. Next slide, please. So also, we have different organizations din na tumulong. For the first, in the first pictures, in the slides, we have the provincial government of Ilocos Sur headed by Honorable Ryan Luis Visingson and Panlalawigang Federasyon ng Sangguniang Kabataan here in Ilocos Sur headed by Honorable Janina Joyce Tabios have distributed back-to-school kits wherein hindi lang school supplies ang laman ng kits na to para sa mga bata, wherein meron ding different healthcare essentials na magagamit nila in this crisis or pandemic. In the next picture po, we also right now, today, ngayong month ng September, we are celebrating the Suicide Prevention Month. And also for the next month, we will be celebrating the World Mental Health Day. So it is also important that we should care for not only for the physical health of the students, but also for their mental health. So right now, together with the provincial government and Provincial Health Office of Ilocos Sur, Department of Health, and that is under the leadership of Miss Abigail Mesa Raimundo. And together with me, we are now having different activities such as we will be having a webinar series regarding on mental health. Also, we have a podcast battle that can help the students to gain information and knowledge about how to help their selves and their colleagues in caring for their mental health. And also the ang bida po for our activities for World Mental Health Day is that me together with other people na kasali sa different organizations, we are writing a book for now or a self-care journal that is that is gonna be launched this October 9 and will be distributed to students around the city and around the province. And lastly, as a student leader, I am not only a leader among our city and the province. So I'm also an officer and a member of one of the national organizations in the country named Samahan ng Kabataang Boluntaryo ng Pilipinas, wherein I am the regional director for Region 1. And now we are having an online fundraising activity named Kahon ng Karunungan, wherein this is it aims to help 200 students from Landayan Elementary School in San Pedro, Laguna. So this program can really help the students, especially sa situation ngayon na it is new to us students and also to our teachers and parents na we will be having the new normal learning na sinasabi nila. And also, for this school year, me together with my fellow officers in the Division Federated Supreme Student Government of Vigan City are planning to have an online tutorial for kinder to grade 10 students, specifically for the subjects math and science, which is ito yung talagang nahihirapan na subjects yung mga students natin, no? So ang plano po namin, we will be uploading videos, online videos na tutorial for the students about certain topics in their lessons, and also we will be sharing learning materials like ebooks and PDF files that can really help them in the distance learning for this school year 2020 and 2021. That's all po. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat Aliyah sa ating napaka-aktibong president ng SSG Ilocos Sur National High School, no? Tunay nga sa Ilocos Sur ata is it takes a province to raise a child. So maraming salamat sa inyong pakikilahok sa paghahanda sa pagbubukas ng klase at pabuhay kayo. Ang susunod po na magbibigay ng kanyang pagkahanda or presentation ay si Miss Ana Abigail Tigzon. Siya po ay president naman ng SSG San Pablo City Science Integrated High School sa Laguna. Ana, go ahead. Wala atang sound yung presentation, Zoe. It's playing here, but
I'm
may sound.
sorry. Ayan, I'm sorry guys. So yan. So hello everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my warmest gratitude to the conference's organizations for inviting us here. Being here alone is already overwhelming enough, so being here to represent our student organization really does make my heart flatters. Anyway, going to my presentation, let's begin, shall we? So as you can see, as the coronavirus of 2019 pandemic has entered in our country, a lot has changed in everyone's lifestyles. A used to crowded malls now seem to be a ghost town, and of course, just like the others, the country's education sector was remorsefully also affected by that. Because of this, some adjustments to comply with the demands of the new normal setup were made, one of which was the modification of the in-school formal education as it was turned into either modular, online, or blended one. Teachers and other school personnel work hand in hand to provide comprehensive study materials for us to use. Stakeholders and LGUs, on the other hand, are doing their best to give support and assistance. Indeed, everyone is having their role in this hashtag bayanihan. But the question is, what can a student leader like I can do to contribute meaningfully in addressing this concern? Good morning, teachers. Happy Teachers Month, by the way. Parents, stakeholders, and to my fellow students. Next slide, please. All right, so I am Ana Abigail Tigzon from San Pablo City, Laguna, And as a response to that query, with the hard work of my fellow officers, the guidance of our advisor, Ms. Salia Supre, the support of our school principal, Mrs. Nelisa P. Kwasay, and the Department of Education SDO San Pablo City, the Supreme Student Government of San Pablo City Science Integrated High School proudly presents to you, next slide please, Sci-Hi on the Net. Sci-Hi on the Net is an ongoing initiative launched on the last 4th of May 2020 to fully utilize SSG social media pages to connect more with our schoolmates despite not seeing them in person due to the new normal setup. It is composed of 10 primary hashtags, namely hashtag Sci-Hi Together in Spirit for strengthening spiritual moral, not one less in Sci-Hi to advocate equality, hashtag Sci-Hi Usap Tayo to address mental health concerns, patriotism and active citizenship with hashtag Sci-Hi para sa bayan, non-sine pulbera palma, a pun from our school motto, for entertainment, hashtag Say Hi Sci-Hi from community building, Sci-Hi Kalikasan for the environment, study tips in Sci-Hacks, hashtag Sci-Hi Leader Kabataan to recognize and engage the youth of Sci-Hi in leadership, and of course, our very own hashtag Tatak Sci-Hi. And there are actually still more, but the hands are running, so let's now move on. Our beneficiaries for this event are the hashtag Sci-Hi Kids, or the students of San Pablo City Science Integrated High School. Because according to Article 3, Section 6.6 of our SSG Constitution, the Supreme Student Government has an objective to empower the students to strive for excellence in academics, leadership, and social responsibility, and to encourage them to be a proactive member of society. Gratefully, with the collaborative efforts of everyone behind this initiative, Sci-Hi on the Net has been recognized by our LGU as one of the first ever San Pablo City Youth Week Kabayani Youth Awardee under the category Angat Kabataan, last August 28, 2020, for our remarkable COVID response initiative. With that, next slide please. Sci-Hi on the Net is continuously being next slide please. Okay. Sci-Hi on the Net is continuously being innovative to achieve the following goals. Firstly is to advocate the practice of pagiging makajos, makatao, makakalikasan, and makabansa with Sci-Hi Together in Spirit, not one less in Sci-Hi, Sci-Hi Kalikasan, and Sci-Hi para sa bayan respectively. Next is to empower the students to provide really inspiring quotes, to be a companion for those who are feeling alone as we try to prove that one might be physically afar but still got our backs. We are also aspiring to inform them about educational initiatives like hashtag Heroes of the Month and also what's currently happening in our country. We aim to provide cyber safe space, especially now that our means of communication were mostly held online. And lastly, is to utilize our page in promoting active citizenship for nation building. We, in fact, have initiatives like hashtag Sci-Hi Bayan rin kami for the SSG to be an amplifier of the students' voice. We had hashtag Sci-Hi Bayanihan for the SSG to be to recognize everyone's effort for the school during Brigada Eskwela period. And also we have Sci-Hi in our hearts to showcase their talents and much more. So basically, Sci-Hi on the Net is here to show that we mutually need each other for this setup to work out. I remember this quote that I've seen somewhere from Pinterest saying that it might be hard, but hard doesn't mean impossible. Institutions have a responsibility to provide inclusive quality learning while students have a role to learn. And with us being the student leaders, we are assigned to help in connecting these two ends together and make it as one. To my fellow youth and student organization officers, I am counting on you. Next slide, please. This is why we are welcoming you to Sci-Hi on the Net to show that we are here for you, to educate you, to inspire you, and to empower you with our motivational quotes and the other integrated initiatives published on our SPC Sci-Hi SSG pages. With Sci-Hi on the Net, the Supreme Student Government of San Pablo City Science Integrated High School will stand up and prove that no pandemic shall hinder us in giving hashtag inclusive, hashtag empowering, and hashtag compassionate service. Again, everyone, welcome to Sci-Hi on the Net. That will be all. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat Abigail, no? Indeed, ang San Pablo City ang isa sa mga pinaka-active na SDO natin sa buong bansa. Maraming salamat ulit sa inyong mga initiatives online. At this point po, may we welcome po si Sir Edmund Cardona, ang GPTA President po ng Kawayan Isabela, para po sa kanilang presentation at pagsuporta sa ating pagbubukas ng klase. Sir Edmund, go ahead po.
Isang maganda at pagpalang araw sa ating lahat, lalo na sa ating mahal na sekretary ng Department of Education, Ma'am Leonor Magtolis Briones, at sa lahat po ng media partners ng ating departamento at kapwa ko-opisyal ng DPTA sa buong bansa. Ang inyong lingkod, Edmund G. Cardona, kasalukuyang presidente ng DPTA ng Kawayan City Science and Technology High School sa division ng lungsod ng Kawayan, dito sa lalawigan ng Isabela, Region 2, ay maglalahad ng isang kwento ng bayanihan ng mga magulang, guro at iba pang stakeholders sa gitna ng pandemya. Ang aming munti at hamak na paaralan na meron lamang maliit na resources, ang bilang ng mga mag-aral ay 782 at 36 na mga guro lamang. Ngunit hindi yan naging hadlang upang kami ay maghintay lamang sa gobyerno ng mga ayuda upang may pagpatuloy ang edukasyon. Kaya atin pong tunghayan ang isang ABP na naglalahad ng mga inisyatibo ng GPTA upang suportahan ang basic education learning continuity plan ng ating departamento.
That we are experiencing today not only impaired our normal way of doing things, affected lives, and shattered the global economy, but also affected the educational system worldwide. As a result, every learner, teacher, and parent is in quandary and skeptical about the way education should be delivered amidst the fear of the virus.
Classrooms are left empty. The school campus is void of the noise of the students hanging around. Teachers are engrossed in preparing modules, learning activity sheets, and TV and radio-based lessons. Parents are at home doing household chores while attending to the needs of their children.
These sights are somewhat awful. Feeling of isolation, loneliness, and misery are there. However, there is still a ray of hope for every learner, parent, and teacher, because the Department of Education has taken a bold step to continue education amidst this crisis. Courage, faith, and adventure, these so-called virtues called normal, put by Professor Emeritus Leonor Magtolis Briones, Secretary of the Department of Education, serve as guideposts during these trying times.
Having in mind these virtues, the General Parents Teachers Association, in consultation with the school administration of Kawayan City Science and Technology High School in the Schools Division of Kawayan City, Cagayan Valley Region, managed to come up with concrete actions in support of the department's Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. The following are their significant accomplishments that contributed greatly and significantly to smooth implementation of the School Learning Continuity Plan. Active participation during the escuela. Took school on repair efforts focused on sanitation facilities of the school. As such, helped the school acquire and put up the following: 6 units purposes, 2 units of improvised hand wash lavatory, foot bath, mini triage for visitors and employees, and physical distancing markers in the school grounds.
Through the GPTA partnership with several stakeholders, the group also managed to accumulate several gallons of alcohol, boxes of disposable face masks, face shields, vitamins for teachers and employees, volunteer para-teachers, and knowledge bearers.
They also led and managed the general orientation of parents, which was done by batch. Relevant topics were discussed, such as responsible parenthood in times of pandemic, learning delivery modalities, and COVID prevention, mitigation, and control, to name a few.
And the most significant of all is the putting up of School on Air. Through their sustained partnership with civic-spirited individuals and organizations, they were able to raise 230,000 pesos to put up a 15-watt school laboratory radio named Radyo Educalidad that operates on the principles of narrowcasting, which is now operational and airs various educational programs, lesson simulations using radio-based instructions, and talk shows that highlight school preparations for school opening.
Ang pagpapatuloy ng edukasyon sa gitna ng krisis dulot ng pandemya ay napalaking hamon sa bawat mag-aaral, guro, magulang at opisyal ng DepEd. Kung maantala ang edukasyon ng ating mga anak ng 1 o 2 taon, magdudulot ito ng mas malaki at malawakang epekto sa kanilang kinabukasan at magiging kabuhayan sa susunod na mga taon. Kaya ang pamunuan ng General Parents and Teachers Association ng Kawayan Science and Technology High School ay naglatag ng konkretong hakbang upang suportahan ang Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan ng Department of Education. Ang mga hakbang na ito ay nakatulong ng malaki nung dry run ng paaralan. Nasaksihan ko mismo bilang magulang ang napakaayos at sistematikong daloy ng mga gawain mula sa pag-distribute ng learning packages, paggabay ng mga volunteers teachers, pagtuturo ng mga guro gamit ang radyo, module at offline video lessons hanggang sa pagsumiti ng learners activity sheet sa paaralan. Tunay na ang sama-samang pagkilos ng GPTA at iba pang stakeholder ay nakakatulong ng malaki sa pagpapatupad ng Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan.
Stakeholders' active engagement and sustained participation in the affairs of the school play a vital role in realizing various flagship programs of the Department of Education, like the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Here at Kawayan City Science and Technology High School, the concerted efforts of the General Parents and Teachers Association is remarkable in the sense that they are the ones who are leading various stakeholders group to come together, plan and implement initiatives in support of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. In this way, the school administration finds it easy to implement various programs, projects and activities relative to our preparation for the opening of classes come October 5, 2020, via the various learning delivery modalities applicable to the context of every.
Truly, members and officers of the General Parents and Teachers Association
of Kawayan City Science and Technology High School have proven that unity
and cooperation rolled into one
is bayanihan in the new normal.
Science and Technology High School. As a school for 2020. And our vision,
Sir Edmond, go ahead. Meron pa po kayong karagdagang Sir Edmond?
Thank you, sir.
All right. Just Agnina, Sir Edmond, dyan sa Kawayan, Isabela. Maraming salamat po sa inyo at talagang united we stand. Kasama natin ang PTA kasama ng ating mga magigiting na guro sa pagtataguyod ng ating BELCP. And of course, at this point, may we also welcome Attorney Ron Perez. Siya naman po ang Federated PTA President po ng Baguio City. Attorney Ron, go ahead po. Good morning. Attorney Ron? Nakamute po ata kayo, sir. Ayun.
Morning, Director.
Ayun, okay na. Sige po. Go ahead
Morning,
po.
Director June. Can you hear me perfectly well? Okay. To all education stakeholders, to all officials of the DepEd, of course, led by our dear Secretary, Leonor Briones, and other undersecretaries here present today, and all education stakeholders, fellow parents, magandang Baguio po sa inyong lahat. Well, may we request this slide, please, that I have prepared to be put on the screen, please. Director June.
Ay, naka-flash na po, sir. Can you see it po? Yung first slide.
I cannot see it. I'm sorry.
Naka-flash na po yung first slide, sir. Apa.
Okay. I'll use my own slide then. Yes. As you could see in the screen, we have our Parents Academy being pioneered by the Schools Division Office of Baguio City. As you see in your screen, this is the actual parent portal, and it is actually located on the site parentacademy.depedtimes.com. And let us proceed to the next slide, please. Yes. The objectives of the Parents Academy is first to educate parents to access valuable resources to effectively support their children. Yes, we understand that no less than the Constitution of the Philippines mandates that the primary role of the parents is to educate their children, and the DepEd and the state through the department is only on a secondary role. But we recognize and we thank the DepEd for making us partners in the continuous learning in our country. Second objective is to engage parents to become full partners in their child's education. Well, as we have heard from ARD Teng Vergara in his speech one time, that for you to really improve the education, you have to first educate the parents, second, educate the teachers, and finally, educate the learners. That is actually what we are advocating.
We have to empower parents to pursue lifelong learning goals for themselves and their children. As we understand, life is a continuous learning. And fourth objective is to encourage parents to sustain their child's growth and well-being. Holistic po ang approach natin dito, not only in terms of academic, but also spiritual, mental, social, and physical. Next slide, please. The Parents Academy aims to empower parents and families in giving full assistance in student learning while learners learn at home or within community, especially this time of distance learning. Next slide, please. We have 4 major activities as part of or component of the Parent Academy. First, the parent upskilling and reskilling. Second, hosting of events. Third, development of online portal. And fourth, parent guidebook. Next slide. parent upskilling and reskilling. We have provided seminars, webinars, as you have termed it this time, that will capacitate parents with new skills and knowledge, upskilling or upgrading current skills and knowledge, particularly on learning achievement. The Schools Division Office of Baguio conducted actually a battle voices for parents, for us to really gather the sentiments of the parents in this time of the pandemic. Second is hosting of events. This aims to increase parents' involvement in learning, achievement, and school activities. In this hosting of events, we could actually organize a recognition program for our volunteer parents who are actually doing a great job in helping our educational institution in actually being also learning continuity ambassadors. Next slide, please. Online portal. We have this online portal for our online resource where parents access materials that can help understand the programs of DepEd and other learning materials. We have already set up this online portal. As we could see in the first slide a while back, it is actually the parentacademy.depedpines.com. We could see there, and it is already in place, that we have valuable resources to help our parents in this time of pandemic as effective learning facilitators for their children. We also have a forum through the Facebook Messenger. We have a group chat and other activities or forums. And we have a page, the DepEd Cordilleran Parent Academy has a Facebook page where all parents of here in the Cordillera Administrative Region can access valuable resources and upgrade their skills. We also have the DepEd Pines Parent Academy, DepEd Pines, and it's already in place and it's very active and participated into by various parents in our locality. What topics are there for the webinars? We could have distance learning for parent engagement, cybersecurity for parents, adolescent development, DepEd programs, English learning for adults, reading activities, and other skills development activities, which I mentioned earlier, is a holistic approach not only for academic, but also for spiritual, mental, social, and physical well-being, not only for the learners, but mostly of the parents. And we understand that our parents are not that equipped in being learning continuity facilitators. But with this parent portal and parent academy, we could actually have a forum for us to really help each other to attain quality education amidst this pandemic. Next slide, please. We actually had that pilot run of our modular type of learning. We conducted parents orientation last July 17, 2020, supposedly in time for the July, August opening. But fortunately, we have more time for us to really prepare for the grand opening come October 5. And we are actually ready as to that end. And as you could see, we were observing health protocols in conducting this parents orientation. Next slide, please. This was featured in the DepEd Philippines page, where the parents are working hand in hand with the school administrator and other partner agencies in delivering the modules for this modular type of learning, we have this was actually a bayanihan and angkop na angkop po sa ating tema. Next slide, please. We have as a partner the Philippine Army, the 503rd Brigade, located within our within the Cordillera. We call this project Dear Army Project because it is a delivery and retrieval of modules. We partnered with the Army, and as far as with General Dayawen, when he actually made his speech, he was actually clearing out the notion of the children as far as the uniformed personnel are concerned. Alam mo, sa ating mga parents, minsan ginagamit na panakot sa ating mga anak na isusumbong sa military or sa police. With this endeavor, with this partnership that we're having, we could actually clear that negative notion of students as far as our uniformed personnel is concerned. They are helping with our continuous education, and the Army also are partners with the DepEd and the parents in the continuous learning. Next slide, please. This is the parent guidebook as one component of the Parent Academy, as Ma'am Soraya Faculo of the DepEd City Schools Division Office have made it as one of the component, and its title is Parenting Power Guidebook for First Teachers. This includes very rich resources where parents could really learn how to teach their children, and also nandito rin po yung mga kwento ng mga ating mga parents on how they were able to successfully teach their children despite this scenario on distance learning. And we could actually see here too how we could understand the modules para maintindihan po natin kung ano itong mga modules. Meron din pong explanation po rito at kwentong iba pa para lalo pong matulungan ang ating parents in educating their children. Next slide, please. As we could see, we were actually blessed to becoming the regional leaders or regional president of the DepEd Cordillera, the Parent Teachers Association of the Cordillera, and have organized also a Cordilleran Parents Academy that will actually, the model for Baguio will be actually piloted also throughout the region, and hopefully through this program throughout the country, for us really to reach out to our fellow parents and help them in being learning continuity facilitator. And we also conducted a virtual capability building of parent ambassadors on the role of parents in their child's education in the new normal through this Cordilleran Parents Academy. We also have a web page that is in place right now. And as you could see sa screen po natin, we signed a pledge of commitment last September 8, 2020 at DepEd CAR, together with the launching of all other projects of the region geared towards preparing everyone to the opening of classes come October 5. Next slide, please. Well, we parents support the Handang Isip, Handa Bukas campaign of the department, and we remain as partner in the uplifting of the quality of education of our learners. and that the overall well-being and the continuous learning amidst the pandemic caused by COVID-19. Mabuhay po tayong lahat and salamat po.
Ayun, Josh Agnina, Attorney Ron Perez, ang FPTA President ng Baguio City. Talagang hindi lang pala mga bata ang natututo, no? Pati magulang sumasabay na sa kanilang mga anak dito sa ating education sa new normal. At this point po, may we also welcome si Ma'am Bonnie Corañez Manlunas, FPTA President din po ng Antipolo City. Ma'am Bonnie, magandang umaga po.
Hello, good morning everyone.
Yan.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat. I am humbled of this opportunity to share the best practices of our division, FPTA Antipolo City. I would like to express my gratitude to our Regional Director, Dr. Willie Cabral, our SDS, Dr. Chris Diaz, our SJOD Chief, Dr. Jonathan Domingo, my school head, Dr. Rowena Season, and my FPTA family who are all joining right now in Facebook Live. Hello to everyone. I am Maria Bonnie Corañez Manlunas from Antipolo City, currently the president of the Federation of Parents Teachers Association, mother of 4. I have a grade 12, grade 10, grade 8, and grade 4. When my eldest child started her elementary schooling, I became active in the GPTA. It is always in my heart to help and serve. That is why I accepted the challenge to lead in the school as GPTA president. I joined the federation 3 years ago, and it was at this time that we crafted the bylaws of the federation to formalize the role and functions of the organization. We clarified the purpose of the FPTA, or the Parents Teachers Association. As you see in your screen, our primary purpose, next slide please, is to serve as forum for the discussion of issues and their solutions related to the total school programs, projects, and activities, and to ensure the full cooperation of the parents. The Federation also aims at providing mechanism for proper coordination among each member. And finally, to provide assistance and support to the school's community of Antipolo City within the boundaries of DepEd Order number 54, series of 2009. At the onset of the pandemic, the Federation, through the GPTA officers, has worked closely with our school's division office headed by our SDS, Dr. Chris Diaz, and with our individual schools. We participated in the school-based planning, providing the perspective of the parents. We participated as well in the crafting of the LCP in order to have a general idea of what will be adopted by the school during the pandemic. We did not stop with that. We also participated in the pilot testing and actual distribution of SLMs, or the self-learning modules, and we will continue to do so as many of the schools are yet to distribute their self-learning modules. Our committed GPTA officers joined the fields during the pilot testing and on the actual distribution of the self-learning modules. We help in delivering the SLMs to the CTO and barangays or the different assigned learning kiosks. We really have to strengthen the relationship and partnership of the parents and the schools, especially at this time, in support of the DepEd's goal that no learners are left behind. As our FPTA motto says, FPTA never stops. We make sure that the FPTA is always available in every activities and programs of the division. At this slide, when the ECQ was first declared, many of our GPTAs are yet to execute their projects. So we found it more relevant to divert the funds to purchase the much-needed duplication machines that our schools produce for the reproduction of learning materials. For example, in my school, in San Jose National High School, we purchased 2 Riso machines, and we also ordered photocopying machine that is yet to be delivered. Other schools opted to support the repair of their machines or purchase a new one. Others still opted to purchase health kits, alcohol dispensers, and thermal scanners, depending on what the budget could afford them. FPTA do not stop. We do not stop with the purchases. We also provided webinars for parents. The Federation, in coordination with SGOD, school administration, local government units, and other non-government organizations or NGOs, conducted webinars which included learning modalities, distributions, and retrieval of modules, as well as topics on health and nutrition, mental wellness, and maternal care. And finally, this month, we are getting ready for our Handa na Eskwela Caravan. It will be launched the end of this month, September 30, and all schools are or will be joining. We may be in a difficult time, but we should not dwell on that. But instead, we must be resilient and have positive mindsets and take our part as parents and how we can contribute in making the new normal of learning easy and possible. In every activity and programs, it is always highlighted our vision, mission, FPTA never stops. FPTA transforms borders. Good day, everyone.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Bonnie. Siya po ang ating Ma'am Bonnie Coranias Manlunas. Siya po ang ating FPTA President from Antipolo City at dating guro. Ma'am, no? So, ayun, very aware siya dun sa mga paghahanda na ginagawa ng kanilang division. Maraming salamat po sa ating mga student leaders at sa ating mga Parent-Teacher Association presidents. At this point, I would like to also welcome our Undersecretary for Legal Affairs, Yusek Jo Maribuhok, para po i-update tayo sa mga child protection programs ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon. Yusek, ma'am?
Hi, maraming salamat, Director June. Magandang araw po. At ang aking pakay ngayon ay magbigay ng konting update tungkol sa ating child rights and child protection in basic education. Ang DepEd po sa pamamagitan po ng Legal Affairs, kasama ang iba pang mga opisina sa DepEd, ang namumuno sa pagtaguyod ng Child Protection Program ng DepEd. Ang DepEd ay meron pong Child Protection Policy na nakasaad sa DO number 40, Series of 2012, at itinataguyod po nito ang Zero Tolerance Policy against all forms of violence and abuse upon children or learners. Meron po itong mga provision patungkol sa prevention, protection, and remedial measures for learners who are victims of child abuse, neglect, exploitation, discrimination, and violence. Alam po natin na dahil sa COVID-19 at sa pagpapatupad ng mga minimum health standards at quarantine, ay binuo po ng DepEd ang Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan o BELCP para sa panahon ng COVID-19. Ayon po dito sa BELCP, iba't ibang mga learning delivery modalities ang maaari pong gamitin sa pagtuturo ng mga mag-aaral natin sa elementarya at high school ngayong school year 2020 to 2021. Nariyan po ang modular learning, online learning, TV at radio-based instruction, at homeschooling, kagaya ng nabanggit ng mga naunang nagsalita po sa akin. Habang hindi pa po ligtas ay wala po munang face-to-face classes. Yan, mahalagang bahagi po ng ating learning continuity plan ang child rights, lalo na ang child protection. Malinaw na nakasaad sa BELCP mismo na patuloy ang pagrespeto, pagprotekta, at pagtupad ng mga karapatan ng bata kaugnay sa edukasyon. Sa lahat po ng hakbang ng DepEd, the best interest of the child, ang ating pong gabay o tinatawag na North Star. The child, the learner, is at the center of all that we do in DepEd. May mga panganib po o banta sa kaligtasan ng bata sa home-based learning. Nariyan ng corporal punishment o marahas na pagdidisiplina na maaari ding dulot ng pagkaubos ng pasensya, halimbawa ng magulang o kasama sa bahay na nagtuturo sa bata, lalo na kung marami rin pong ginagawa o pinoproblema ang ating mga magulang sa panahon ng COVID-19 at hindi rin sila masyadong bihasa sa positive discipline o sa di marahas na pagdisiplina. Maaari ding mapabayaan ng mga bata dahil nagtatrabaho ang kanilang mga magulang o di kaya ay nasa isolation dahil sa COVID-19. Maaari ring magkaroon ng child labor dahil sa hirap ng buhay ngayong panahon ng pandemya. Sa online learning naman po, maaari ring makaranas ang mga bata ng cyberbullying o masangkot sa child pornography o online sexual abuse at exploitation o mabiktima ng mga tinatawag nating online predators. Paano po tinutugunan ng DepEd ang mga banta at panganib o risks na ito? May mga hakbang at proyekto po tayo sa ilalim ng ating Child Protection Program. Una na rito ang pagbuo ng Supplemental Policy on Child Protection in the context of the LCP. Ito po ay isang department order na dadagdag sa mga probisyon ng Child Protection Policy o DO40 Series of 2012 upang tugunan ang mga risks and realities na maaari pong maranasan ng mga bata sa home-based learning. Papatibayan din ito ang mga child protection committees at ang mga reporting mechanism. Magkakaroon din po dito ng mga guidelines for online safety. Nagsagawa na po tayo ng mga consultation meetings kasama ang mga opisyal at personnel mula sa DepEd Central Office, Regional Office, Division Office, mga school heads, teachers at guidance counselors ng pampubliko at pribadong paaralan. Kinonsulta din po natin ang mga NGO at international organizations at ibang mga government agencies at local government. Nagsagawa rin po tayo ng consultation meetings sa mga magulang at sa mga bata o learners. Sa kasalukuyan po, nasa finalization stages na ang ating supplemental policy at layunin natin na mailunsad na ito sa nalalapit na panahon. Nag-organize din po ang ating opisina kasama ng ibang mga opisina sa DepEd ng mga webinar na may temang isulong karapatan ng bata sa panahon ng COVID-19. Nagsimula na po ito noong September 7 at nakaschedule sa buong buwan ng September hanggang sa October 7. Ito po ay sinasagawa natin sa tulong ng National Educators Academy of the Philippines o NEA at ng Office of the Undersecretary and Chief of Staff at ng Public Affairs Service. Partner po natin sa mga webinars na ito ang UNICEF Philippines, Stairway Foundation at ang Save the Children Philippines. Meron po itong tatlong parte. Ang unang parte ay ang Child Rights in Education. Natapos na po ang pagpapalabas ng 4 na episodes dito tungkol sa rights to development kasama ng education, rights to participation kasama na ang right of the child to be heard, ang rights to survival kasama na ang right to health, at rights to protection. Sa kabuuan, nagkaroon po ng higit sa 1 milyong views sa live stream at video nitong mga webinars na ito. Ang ikalawang parte naman po ay ang child protection in education in the time of COVID-19. Ito ay gaganapin at papapanood araw-araw ng alas 10 ng umaga hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali simula September 28 hanggang October 2. Ang una at ikalawang parte ay accredited bilang isang kurso ng National Educators Academy of the Philippines. Ito ay bahagi ng Course 2 na tinatawag na Learner Welfare and Well-being of the Capacity Building Courses in the BLCP of NEAP. Ibig sabihin po, ang mga nanood at manunood pa na mula sa DepEd at sasagot ng mga evaluation form ay maaari pong makatanggap ng credit points para sa kanilang professional development portfolio. Ito po ay isang napakalaking hakbang sa pag-institutionalize ng child rights at rights-based education sa DepEd. Ito po ay nangyayari sa unang pagkakataon. Ang part 3 naman po ng ating webinar series ay isang special series para sa mga magulang na narinig po nating magsalita kanina, sa mga guardian at sa iba pa pong katuwang sa edukasyon ngayong magkakaroon ng home-based learning. Itong serye na ito ay ang Positive Discipline and Education for Parents and Guardians. Naipalabas na po ang 2 sa 5 episodes at sa kasalukuyan ay meron na po tayong 250,000 na views. Mapapanood po ito kada Miyerkules alas 3 hanggang alas 5 ng hapon. No? Meron din pong mga magulang na nagbabahagi at nagbibigay kaalaman dito sa mga webinar na ito patungkol sa positive discipline. Ang lahat po ng webinar ay mapapanood sa DepEd FB page at ibang social media pages. Mayroon na ding playlist sa DepEd FB page ng mga webinar, kaya maaari pong panoorin pa rin hanggang ngayon at mananatili pa itong mga webinar na ito sa ating DepEd Facebook page. Isa pang hakbang ang pagpapalabas sa TV ng mga palabas at materials tungkol sa ating pong child rights at child protection. Kabilang na po sa ipapalabas ang mga webinar at iba't ibang educational videos. At para po mas lalo pa nating matulungan ang ating mga magulang at guardian at iba pang katuwang sa edukasyon, mamamahagi rin po tayo ng materials on positive discipline in education at iba pang mga tema patungkol sa child protection at child rights sa ating mga pamilya ng mga mag-aaral. Iyan po ay ilan lamang sa ating mga hakbang na isinasagawa upang maitaguyod ang karapatan ng mga bata kaugnay sa edukasyon. Kabilang na ang karapatan sa proteksyon o ang maging ligtas mula sa anumang pang-aabuso at karahasan. Meron pa pong ibang mga hakbang na isinasagawa sa pamumuno naman ng ibang opisina sa DepEd. Kabilang na ang pagkakaroon ng learning support aids para sa mga tahanan na ang mga magulang o ibang kasama sa bahay ay walang kakayanan na gumabay sa mga mag-aaral sa kanilang pag-aaral sa tahanan. Bahagi rin po ang child protection sa isinasagawang parents orientation. Ngayon po, no, habang tayo ay nagkakaroon nitong ating press briefing, ay meron din pong parents orientation na nagaganap. Bahagi po doon ng child protection at bahagi rin ng child protection sa parents handbook, no, na isinagawa ng curriculum and instruction strand. Tandaan po natin, every child, no matter how young or small, is not half a person, but a whole person with dignity and rights that we as a whole society should respect, protect, and fulfill. Ang mga bata po ay nanatiling mga bata sa panahon ng COVID-19. Nananatili din po ang kanilang mga karapatan bilang mga bata. Sama-sama po tayo in the true spirit of bayanihan. Itaguyod natin ang mga karapatang ito ng mga bata. Lalanin po natin, minsan lang po sila magiging bata. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Ayun, maraming salamat Undersecretary Josephine Maribohok. Siya po ang ating Undersecretary for Legal Affairs. Maraming salamat, ma'am. And at this point, maybe also acknowledge the presence of Director Leila Ariola ng Bureau of Learning Delivery. And we have here, monitoring us as well is staff po ni Congressman Roman Romulo. And at this juncture, before we proceed po sa mga presentation, I would like to acknowledge po ang presence ng ating ina ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon, Kalihim Leonor Magtolis Briones, upang magbigay ng kanyang pambungad na pananalita at updates tungkol sa ating enrollment. Ma'am, magandang umaga po. Secretary? Ma'am? I think there's a Connectivity problem. Okay. Sige, let's just proceed na lang po muna siguro sa presentation po ng ating Director for ICTS, si Director Abram Abanil, para naman po sa kanyang mga updates tungkol sa ngayon ay sinasagawa na final test run ng DepEd TV. Director Abram, magandang umaga po. Go ahead po.
Magandang umaga, Director June. Nakikita na po ba yung PowerPoint presentation ko?
Yes, sir. Opa.
Okay, sige. Mayong buntag, Ma'am Niding, and magandang umaga din sa ating mga members ng Execom, and good morning sa ating mga viewers. Mayong buntag, ma'am. So, I will give you some updates lang tungkol sa DepEd TV. Unang-una, I am happy to announce na successful po yung aming pag-broadcast kaninang umaga. So from September 21 today up to Friday sa September 25 nag-dry run po kami ng 26 episodes corresponding to actually ng isang araw of TV episodes that we will be airing on October 5. Importante itong dry run para mapagpraktisan namin yung mga procedures, mga logistical procedures na kailangan namin gagawin para araw-araw makapag-broadcast tayo ng 26 to 27 episodes amounting to 130 episodes per week this coming October 5 to December 31. So pagdating ng October 5, you can expect na magkakaroon tayo ng 130 episodes per week of TV lectures na lalabas sa ating mga major channels. No? Ito ay para lang sa mga major subjects. Hindi pa namin kaya sa kasalukuyan ma-produce ng mga episodes para sa lahat ng subjects. Pero pagdating ng January 2021, if not earlier, we expect na kakayanin na namin mag-produce ng mga 220 episodes per week covering all the subject areas in the most essential learning competencies. Aside from that, i-dub din namin yung mga episodes namin, especially yung mga kinder to grade 3 na mga episodes, i-dub namin to sa mga local languages. Sa ngayon, ang magagawa pa lang namin is English sa Filipino. Pero pagdating ng January, maglalabas na rin kami ng mga episodes that are in Cebuano, in Ilocano, in Kapampangan, and other major dialects in the country. Ngayon, ito yung program grid natin for the 130 episodes that will be shown in starting October 5 for the major subjects. Magsisimula yung araw sa 7:30, ipapalabas natin yung mga lessons ng ALS. Pagdating ng 8 o'clock, palabas natin yung lessons ng kinder, saka pagdating ng 8:25, yung mga grade 1 and so on. Hanggang pagdating ng 4:45, ito naman lalabas natin yung mga pelikula para sa senior high school. So, pagdating ng 6:50 naman, maglalabas din kami ng mga episodes para sa professional development ng ating mga teachers, saka para mga episodes din directed towards yung pag-orient sa ating mga magulang kung paano iharap yung pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak dito sa situations natin ngayon. Ngayon, ito yung mga partner channels natin that have where we are already airing yung dry run. No? So sa ngayon, nag-i-air na yung ating mga programs sa IBC 13, sa Solar TV, sa Signal TV, saka sa GSAT. Aside from that, we are also working to out the technical details para ma-air din natin yung mga programs natin sa PTV4, sa Planet Cable, sa mga members ng Philippine Cable and Telecommunications Association, sa Gracia Satellite TV, sa Mabuhay Pilipinas TV, saka sa GMA. So marami po tayong mga partner channels na tutulong sa atin para ma-broadcast ang ating mga episodes sa DepEd TV. Ngayon, siguro nagtataka kayo kung paano namin nagagawa tong 130 episodes per week kasi this is actually unprecedented. Papasok tayo sa Guinness Book of Records pag nagawa natin ito. So, ganito yung pamaraan namin. Unang-una, meron na kaming na-train na 107 teacher broadcasters nationwide. No? Currently, kadamihan nito ay nasa NCR. Pero sa kasalukuyan, meron kaming ongoing training sa third batch of teacher broadcasters And we're happy to announce na meron ng representation dito sa Region 8 and even sa BARM. So lahat ng regions natin magkakaroon na ng representation once matapos tong batch 3 training. So sa ngayon, meron kaming existing 107 teacher broadcasters doon sa batch 3. Expected namin around 91 ay papasa. 200 yung tinraining namin. So at least 91 ang sigurado kami na papasa. So aabot na tayo ng 198 teacher broadcasters in the next 2 weeks. And this is also being supported by 72 production staff who will do the cross-production work of the ng ating TV episode. So lahat ng mga to, we broke them down in 32 production teams. Bawat isang team magpo-produce ng 4 to 5 na episodes per week, kaya mahahabol ho natin ang pag-produce ng 130 episodes per week. Ngayon, in terms of production sites, meron kaming 5 operational studios dito sa Metro Manila. Sa kasalukuyan, may sineset up pa kaming isa. So by the next week siguro, maging 6 na ito. Meron din kaming 18 public schools na napag-usapan na. We already arranged yung mga logistics with these 18 public schools para kung sakaling gusto mag-on-site na shooting yung ating mga teacher broadcasters, pwede nila gawin dito sa 18 na public schools. Nakikita namin actually, mas comfortable yung mga teachers pag nandun sila sa classroom, pag nandun sila sa laboratory or sa workroom ng ating public schools when they do their shooting. And as a matter of fact, nagpo-focus kami especially dun sa mga higher grade levels, grade 7 and above, nakafocus kami dito sa mga on-site na shooting para sa higher grades. Naggagawa din kami ng mga shooting sa ating mga heritage sites, no? So kung napanood niyo yung mga dry run namin kanina, yung lalo na sa Araling Panlipunan, yung mga sites na pinalabas namin kanina doon sa Araling Panlipunan namin includes yung Intramuros, yung Luneta Park, saka yung National Museum. And as I believe next week, meron din kaming isang team na pupunta doon sa Baguio para shoot din ng mga episodes doon. Para yung ating mga kabataan, kahit hindi sila makapagbisita ng mga museums ngayon, makikita nila virtually sa ating mga TV episodes. Ngayon, binibuild up din namin yung production capability ng mga outside Metro Manila. No? So sa ngayon, merong mga 24 divisions that are being developed. Nakikita ninyo dyan sa slide, hindi ko na isa-isahin, pero ang siguro i-highlight ko lang na yung sa Palawan, nagsisimula na yan sila mag-shooting, pati na rin dito sa Davao City at sa Lanao del Norte saka sa Iloilo City. So the rest we are building up. And once matapos namin itong 24, na ma-build up namin yung production capability niyan, yung existing natin na 32 teams, ma-increase natin to 56 teams na simultaneously gumagawa ng mga episodes. So by then, we are sure na kaya natin mag-produce ng 220 episodes per week para makover natin yung lahat ng subject areas. And hindi kami titigil sa itong 24 divisions. I-develop din namin yung ibang areas na para mapapabilis talaga ang ating production ng dito sa DepEd TV. Ngayon, ito yung status namin sa video production. Kanina lang po ito na update. So sa kasalukuyan, ang natapos namin for the first week, which will be on October 5, meron na kaming 32 TV episodes na nagawa. So this accounts for 25%. Meron kaming 49 na ongoing pa ang shooting. Kung matapos namin to this week, abot na kami ng 60%. And then we will continue the rest of the production next week para mahabol namin yung sa October 5 na 130 episodes at mapasok naman tayo sa Guinness Book of Records at mabibigyan natin yung ating mga kabataan ng magagandang episodes na mapanood nila habang nasa loob sila ng sarili nilang bahay. So with that, maraming salamat. Ito po yung DepEd TV. Ito ay pinaghirapan po ng ating mga teachers para gawin. At ito po ay pinagtutulungan ng lahat ng mga regions dito sa Department of Education. Ito ay isang malaking example talaga ng bayanihan, pagtulong-tulong from the different areas in our country. So maraming salamat ulit sa inyong lahat.
Ayun, maraming salamat. That's Director Abram Abanil ng ating ICTS. nagbigay sa atin ng update tungkol sa very successful testing ngayon ng DepEd TV. So at this juncture, may we acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Secretary of the Department of Education, Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones. Ma'am, magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga sa lahat. Napakagandang episode itong ating press conference ngayong umaga kasi as we go nearer and nearer, as we approach the opening of the school year on October 5, paganda ng paganda ang balita. 14 days na lamang ang natitira para tayo nagbibilang para sa Pasko. Pero ang ganda naman ng mga balita na naririnig natin at sinishare sa inyo na kasama sa pag-prepare para sa opening ng school year 2021. As usual, mag-umpisa ako sa enrollment data dahil interesante ito para sa mga parents, magulang at saka sa general public. Ang ating total public-private, lahat-lahat na ng mga enrollees natin ay umabot na ng 24,536,403. This is already 88.355% of last year's numbers. So na-exceed natin yung original target natin na kung makaabot tayo ng 80%. That would already be a victory in itself. Sa public naman ay talagang very successful tayo sa pag-attract ng enrollees sa ating public sector schools. Umabot na ng 22,360,102 enrollees. This is already 99.057%. 99% ng ating public school enrollments compared to last year ang nakamit na natin as of today, September 21. Napakagandang balita na in spite of all the challenges, in spite of all the fears, the anxiety, the pressures, ay naka 99% tayo sa public school enrollments. Sa private naman, umaabot na tayo ng 2,123,539 ka mga enrollees, and this is already 49.3%. Halos kalahati na ng enrollment natin last year, pero every ang bumabalik nating mga learners galing sa private sector schools at bumabalik na sila sa mga private schools mismo. So yun ang ating status na enrollment, very inspiring, very encouraging. Kaya kung nagtatanong ang iba, bakit ba tayo nagbubukas ng school ngayon? Well, ang sagot ko niyan, you already have 24.5 million learners who expect to be going to school by October 5. And we have a lot of catching up to do. Alam naman natin na maraming pagbabago sa edukasyon, sa knowledge, sa pag-adjust sa ating environment ngayon. At ito ay tugunan ng ating education system. Ang isa pang magandang balita, isang magandang development na nangyayari ngayon sa Department of Education. Samantalang tayo ay naghahanda para sa school opening, sabay-sabay din nating na-present ang ating national budget for education sa legislature, sa ating House of Representatives. Na-present na natin ito sa Appropriations Committee, very successful. Isang session lang, walang deferrals, mahaba ang session, pero natapos talaga ang mga lahat na sagot, ang mga questions na na-raise ng mga ating mga legislators. Attending na brief na ang opposition members of Congress Na-brief na rin natin ang party list foundation, mga party list, more than 50 sila, at ibang mga grupo na nanghihingi ng additional briefings. So malaking panahon ang nagugol natin dito para magiging familiar ang ating legislature sa budget natin for 21-22 next year. So we are looking forward to the plenary. Ang next step sa Department of Education ay ang plenary, which can happen anytime this week or next week sa scheduling ng ating legislature. Pagkatapos naman yan, pupunta naman kami, tatawid kami sa Senate. But in the meantime, maraming hearings na rin ang nakonduct ng Senado, lalo na sa mga committees involved in women and gender, of course, in basic education and other social development issues. So halos simultaneous ang Senate at saka ang House. So so far, mahusay ang takbo ng pag-present ang proseso natin sa pagpapa-approve ng budget ng Department of Education. Hindi ko na uulitin yung mga detalye ng budget dahil ito ay na-present na in our last week's hearings. Ano ba itong budget na ito? Para sa ano ba ito? Sa aking opening statement, aking in-emphasize na ang budget na ito for 21-22 ay magiging framework, magiging platform, magiging umpisa ng ating mga bagong pananaw hinggil sa education. Yung sinasabi in general na new normal at saka yung mga sinasabi namin na paglay ng framework for education of the future. So ang mga features nitong budget na ito ay yung gusto namin, request namin na kung pwede i-expand yung ating futures unit sa Department of Education. Last year sinuporta ito ni Senator Pia Cayetano at saka ni Speaker Alan Cayetano naman sa House. Gusto namin, nag-request kami na kung pwedeng i-expand further dahil kailangan mayroon tayong ideya, hindi lamang within 1 year or 2 years, but as far ahead as we can kung anong magiging itsura, anong magiging future ng education. We are also urging Congress and the other body, the senior body, which is the Senate, to also support our proposal for a design unit right in the Department of Education. Dahil sa tingin namin, sa pangangailangan ngayon ng edukasyon, sa pangangailangan ng ating mga bagong technology, at saka sa pangangailangan ng mga pandemics, ay kailangan i-redesign, kailangan mag-isip na tayo kung anong magiging itsura ng ating mga school buildings. Hindi na siguro oobra yung mga dati nating designs na hindi masyadong friendly, for example, to social distancing. Kailangan appropriate also for computer rooms, technology, and so on and so forth. So, kailangan mag-isip na tayo, ano bang itsura ng ating school buildings, anong itsura ng ating furnitures and fixtures. Hindi lamang na kailangan natin ng mga laptops, mga computers, but also the physical environment which has to be created to house all of these new developments. Pangatlo, yung isang aspeto na palagi na naming inuulit-ulit for the past 4 years, yung patuloy na pag-review at pagbago ng curriculum. Hindi ko na hahabaan ito dahil alam ninyo na ang ating 15,000 learning requirements natin ay na-reduce na to 5,000 to the most essential. Dahil kung data ang kailangan ng mga bata, makukuha nila ito sa ibang mga sources, mga facts, etc., mga numbers. Pero yung capacity for critical thinking, for creativity, for cooperation, and for commitment to the country and to the community ay kailangan yun ang bigyan ng emphasis. Also, may maganda tayong balita dahil marami tayong feedback na natatanggap na kailangan bigyan ng emphasis, ng diin ang sports. Alam na natin na pinasana ng Congress at saka ng House ang law creating the Philippine Sports Academy. So by next year, kailangan umpisahan na ang activities related to the opening of the academy in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the acquisition of tools and specialized, as I said, buildings, faculty, etc. And so this is the brand new, the latest baby of the Department of Education. Pero hindi lamang nag-iisang Department of Education dito. Kasama natin dito ang Philippine Sports Commission, ang DILG, at lahat ng mga agency na very involved sa sports. So, bagong baby ito ng Department of Education at kami ay naniniwala, tayong lahat ay naniniwala na maski na may pandemic, maski na may kung ano-anong mga sakuna, kailangan ipagpatuloy ang physical development ng ating mga bata. Sports is not only a physical activity, but it is also a science in itself. And it is also a field of specialization in itself. So, abangan natin ang pag-umpisa ng Philippine Sports Academy. Lastly, isa sa talagang plea na ginawa ko sa Appropriations Committee ay kailangan dagdagan ang ating support at ipagpatuloy ang ating support para sa arts, sa history, sa culture, sa music. Hindi natin ito iiwanan even as we are thinking of expanding our capacities in the field of technology, of science, etc. But we should not forget the arts. And I have always urged that these two, the arts and the sciences aspect of education, have to be developed together because they of each other. So very special yung plea ko, for example, for the National Museum, for the Philippine High School for arts, for our development of various materials, etc. At saka yung sinasabi kong dapat hindi kalimutan ang ating history, hindi kalimutan ang ating lengguwahe, hindi kalimutan ang ating musika, hindi kalimutan ang ating kultura. Kasama ito sa ating bigyan ng diin sa ating budget sa Department of Education. So to summarize, ang features nitong budget proposal natin is we think of the future, not think of kailan matapos ang term because that is less than 2 years. Pero yung future ng education, anong itsura, anong kailangang skills, anong kailangang values ng ating mga bata to be able to face the future. Yung pag-redesign ng ating mga buildings, ng ating equipment, pag-review, patuloy na pag-review at pagbabago ng ating curriculum, pag-enhance ng sports kasi every year we have sports activities, kailangan ipagpatuloy ito at mag-focus tayo sa mga competitive sports na may malaki ang chance ng Philippines na talagang makadevelop at makakompete regionally as well as globally. And finally, continued support for the arts, for history, for literature, so that we will be aware all the time that one, we are human and we are not robots, and secondly, that we are Filipinos. So, yan ang ating sa budget. Insofar as preparations for the opening are concerned, narinig naman ninyo, nakita ninyo yung mga bata, narinig ninyo ang Parents Teachers Associations, narinig ninyo how we are protecting the children, at saka Ang latest kasi so far, we have been so engrossed with online platforms ngayon. Tinitingnan natin kung paano na-build up yung ating capacity to produce TV programs and radio programs with the assistance and help of professionals in the fields. So, ang tanong na hindi na tinatanong, handa ba tayo? Ay noong August 24, handa tayo. Mas lalo naman tayong handa by October 5. At ito ay celebration. Ito ay a declaration of victory, a declaration of continuity of education, whatever challenges we are facing. Education will continue, our children will continue learning, our parents will continue supporting us, our government, our teachers, all of us are involved in this effort, and this will be the biggest victory of all at this time of the pandemic. Thank you.
Ayan, maraming salamat po sa ating kalihim sa kanyang updates. Indeed, no, united we stand, divided we fall. Kailangan nagkakaisa para sa in less than 14 days, ma'am, no, magbubukas na yung ating mga pampublikong paaralan.
Yes. Hopefully, and we are hoping na sasabay naman sa approval ng plenary sa House of Representatives ng ating budget. Tapos susunod naman ang Senado. So itong lahat na ito ay sabay-sabay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So ayun, maraming salamat po, ma'am. At this point po, we will start to entertain po yung mga katanungan po ng ating mga kasamahan sa media, ma'am. Ang una pong magtatanong ay si AC Nichols po ng CNN Philippines. AC, good morning. Go ahead. AC? Okay, siguro we can proceed to Claudette Siriaco ng Business Mirror. Claudette?
AC here.
Oh, AC.
Sorry, si AC.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, AC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secretary or other resource persons here. My question is about the budget, since yun na mention sa closing statement ni Secretary. You mentioned that you're looking forward to it, but I monitored the budget hearing in the House of Representatives. Yung mga sinabi ni Representative Marcoleta. He even said na baka daw sa plenary i-block niya yung budget nyo defend its budget because it's the most chaotic agency daw. Can I get a reaction on that?
Yung lahat na questions na raised during the Appropriations Committee hearing were answered. Kaya nga dineclare ng Appropriations Committee na tapos na ang hearing sa budget. Kasi kung mayroong dissatisfaction, usually i-defer yan. Kung minsan 2 or 3 more sessions with the Appropriations Committee. Ang Department of Education, isang sessions lamang at tinapos ito within the same day. So yun ang nangyayari. Kaya handa na ang Department of Education for plenary discussions. Lahat ng mga tanong na na-raise ay nasagot at ayun, handa naman kaming sasagot kung mayroon pang ibang katanungan. Kayong nasa media, you have been monitoring all these discussions halos every week. Naririnig naman ninyo ang mga issues na lumalabas. Narinig naman ninyo ang mga sagot. At as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Napasa ng Appropriations Committee ang budget ng Department of Education. Thank you.
Just as a follow-up, during that budget hearing also, there were questions about the sharing of modules. It was mentioned by USEC Dads, I believe, na you're allowing sharing of modules between pupils. sinabi ng lawmakers na it should be 1-to-1. So can we get an update? Are you working to make it 1:1, or are you still pushing through with the sharing of modules?
Well,
Ma'am, si Yusek Ann po.
Yusek Ann or Yusek Dads?
Sige ma'am. Yusek Ann, go ahead po. Ma'am, Yusek Ann, naka-mute po ata kayo. Naka-mute kayo, ma'am. Ayun. May problema ata sa audio.
Si Yusek Dads mo.
Sige ma'am. Yusek Dads, go ahead po while we're checking the audio of Yusek Ann po.
Hello?
Yusek Dads?
Hello?
Ayun. Okay na ma'am, go ahead po. Sige
Okay
po.
na. Okay, very good. Ma'am, with your permission and with all the executive committee members here, let me explain yung nangyari sa budget hearing. For the first quarter, inalaw natin na gamitin ng mga eskwelahan ang kanilang MOE. And with that, we are able to produce almost 1:1 modules. That is for the first quarter. For the second quarter, we have downloaded the funds for the purpose. And we are also anticipating a 1:1 module for our students. Doon po sa nag-signify na kailangan nila ng modules. Let us also remind you na meron po mga iba pang mga approaches na ginagawa ang mga eskwelahan. At yun po yung tinatawag nating contextual. So, expect na every module, kung hindi naman po yung approach na yun, ang pinili at ginagawa ng eskwelahan. But for those who signify that they want the modular learning, ay ginawa po natin to for the first and second quarters. At ito po yung sakop ng fiscal year 2020. Yung pong sagot na baka in 2021 ay hindi natin maibigay yung 1:1 kasi po yung funding natin for 2021 is only 15 billion. And that will cover the third and fourth quarter of this school year, second quarter of the next school year, which is school year 2021 and 2022. So yung sagot po natin na yung 1:1, pwede pa ba natin gawin in the next quarters, which is third and fourth quarter, and the next school year, yung po yung sinagot namin na maaaring magawa na tayo ng ibang approach dahil we will be needing more or less about 35 billion to 40 billion to cover the third and fourth quarter of this school year and the first and second quarter of the next school year. So we are referring to the budget hearing, which is the 2021 budget requirement. At yun po yung amin pong sinagot na kailangan namin na mag-adjust for depende so ano ang ma-approve na budget para sa DepEd in the coming school year. Ito 2020, ginawa na po namin ng paraan. Nag-realign, nag-reprioritize, naggawa po tayo ng authority for them to use their own funds. There is also the Special Education Fund at marami po sa ating LGU ang tumulong. Marami na po na-produce. In fact, yung pong dry run, makikita ninyo, hindi lang modules ang nilalagay nila dun sa packet. Pero po mga school supplies na nilalagay yung iba, hindi lang modules. So yung pong ating blended learning for this year, 2020, at mag-open sa October 5, ay ready for the 1:1. Ang hindi po natin masasagot kasi ay yung susunod na taon. Yung po yung clarification namin doon. Thank you po.
Si Yusek Dads, pwedeng magdagdag doon.
Yes, ma'am. Yusek Dads, go ahead po.
Good morning. Good morning, Secretary Liling. Good morning po sa lahat. Katulad po na nabanggit ni Yusek Ann, sa first quarter, mas marami po yung 1:1 yung inihanda para sa mga gagamit ng printed self-learning modules. At yun naman pong a few division offices na gusto nilang subukin yung rotational use. Ang importante po dito yung nadi-disinfect yung modules bago ito ililipat sa susunod na gagamit. And this is perfectly naman po allowed. This will not affect the extent of learning of the children. Parehas pa rin po yung aaralin, pero instead, pag nag-rotational po kasi, halimbawa kung dalawa yung gagamit, so yung aaralin nila for a week, 4 na subject, but good for 2 weeks. kung dalawa po ang gagamit. Tapos magpapalit sila. So after 2 weeks, yung mga dapat na ma-cover for the whole 2 weeks, na-cover na ng lahat ng mag-aaral. Maraming salamat po.
Final follow-up from me, sir.
AC, I
sorry,
think we have to proceed to the
just an
other.
update on the modules naman from USEC dads. Kasi we're hearing from some principals here in Metro Manila that they still don't have copies of the modules. Matatapos naman po within the next 2 weeks before the opening.
Ang ulat po sa amin ng mga regional offices, lahat ongoing na po ang distribution o delivery, yung mga nag-produce sa division offices. Halimbawa, na-monitor ko yung sa DepEd Quezon, yung mga para sa island nila dyan sa Pulilio Islands na ano na nila, napadala na doon yung mga kailangan. So, pwede po talaga, possible na 47,000 schools kami. Pag maghahanap tayo kung sino yung wala pa, mayroon pa talaga kasi ano pa naman, 2 weeks to go. Pero ang lahat po ng ulat ay on track sila sa schedule, although may a few percentage pa na nagmo-monitor naman po tayo. Bukas po malalaman namin kung gaano yung progress between last week and this week. So makikita po natin yan bukas. Magbibigay po ulit ng update ng readiness yung mga regional offices sa tanggapan ng aming planning office.
Thank you po.
Maraming salamat po, USEC Dads and USEC Ann, and maraming salamat AC ng CNN Philippines. We proceed now to Claudette Siriaco ng Business Mirror. Claudette, go ahead.
Mayong aga, Secretary. Good morning to all.
Secretary. Ay, nga aga. Nami nga aga. Tahong nga aga.
Yes,
I said beautiful morning. Yes.
Ang question ko po, regarding po doon sa paggamit ng UV light sa pag-disinfect po ng ating self-learning modules, kasi nagbigay po ng warning ang DOH sa possible harmful effects po sa paggamit nito. Like nung Saturday, nagkaroon po ng incident sa Baguio na damage po yung mata ng mga tao na nandun sa area. So ano po ang gagawin nating way para ma-disinfect po itong mga modules and other school supplies na ipamimigay po dun sa mga bata?
Mayroon namang alternative ways of sanitizing documents. Halimbawa kami sa Department of Education, ako ay kahon-kahon yung mga dokumentong umaabot sa akin araw-araw. At ito ay dinidisinfect muna bago makarating sa akin. So mayroon namang ibang mga paraan. At saka sa contact tracing namin sa mga incidents, halimbawa sa Department of Education, hindi natin masasabi na nanggagaling sa modules. Ito ay galing sa ibang lugar, pumupunta sa ibang lugar ang mga nagiging pasyente, and so on. So, mayroon namang ibang paraan sa mga ibang instances nga, binibilad sa init, no? Yun, natural way of sanitizing. Tapos mismo ang nag-handle nito, kailangan talagang they observe all the minimum requirements also of the Department of Health. So we take all the precautions. Wala pa kaming instance na sasabihin natin na nanggaling sa module na may nangyari na nanggaling sa module. Because in the first place, halos minimal ang cases namin sa Department of Education dahil talagang na nagiging maingat tayo at saka wala pa namang klase at saka sa mga areas na tinatawag ng IATF na mga high risk, mga ECQ, mga areas na hindi pinapalabas ang tao, hindi naman namin pinapalabas yung mga teacher, hindi naman namin pinapalibot. At saka, as I said, gumagawa tayo ng contact tracing, hindi naman natin nakikita yung direct na masasabi natin na nanggagaling sa modules ang mga infection ngayon dahil very minimal ang nangyayari sa Department of Education na levels of infections.
Okay po, Yusek. Secretary, my second question is, you've mentioned earlier po, Secretary, na 14 days to go bago po ng October 5. How prepared are we now po? Almost 100% na po ba?
Yung tanong, sinabi ko nga, on August 24, we were prepared. In June, we were prepared. Kasi every day, in-identify naman natin ang mga challenges. For example, more than 30,000 dry runs na. Last June, sabi ng mga local governments, mag-dry run muna kayo. O nag-dry run tayo. More than 30,000 schools already have conducted the dry runs. And every day may nagda-dry run. So nakikita natin yung mga kakulangan. And media has been very enthusiastic and very fast in reporting what they believe are challenges. So on a day-to-day and minsan hour-to-hour basis, may feedback kaming natatanggap. At saka, to assume na, this is just my own opinion, to assume na by the time that you have an event and everything is perfect, alam naman natin na by the time na sabihin natin we have conquered everything, there will also be new challenges. Kasi nagbabago palagi. Yung sinasabi nga dito, the only constant in life is change. So, by October 5, there might be other challenges na which will emerge. And this will be responded to. Dahil alam na namin kung ano itong mga possible complications. Pero we will of course not claim perfection because there is no such thing. By October 5, as I said, there will also be additional complications. There will be changes in the weather, or there will be changes in risk assessments, etc. And we will respond to this. And we are already anticipating what these challenges would be. It's not as if we will be caught by surprise. At the rate media is raising these issues already 4 months in advance, 5 months in advance. So we have responded and we have prepared. Public, parents have been raising questions and complaints. We have responded. And we have recognized this. So by October 5, as of October 5, we will already be ready. But if there are other challenges which will emerge, because as all of us know, especially those in media, we move in a political, social, and economic environment, as well as a natural environment, the weather, etc., which we cannot solve by issuing memoranda and circulars and so on. But we can only think of ways by which we can respond. So that is my answer. And I believe I'm speaking also for the Department of Education. It is really something, and I'm very proud of this, Claudette. And in less than 6 months, you overhaul practically the entire educational system. You change the curriculum. You change the methods of education, of learning delivery in a matter of months, even as we are surrounded by criticisms and skepticisms and cynicism. To be able to do that, to be able to respond positively is already a signal of the capacity of the department and of Philippine society, of parents, of teachers, of all of you, to be able to look and to see what might happen and how we might react to this. Thank you, Claudette.
Thank you, Secretary. God bless po.
Hindi ako gabesday.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, Claudette of Business
Hindi ako
Mirror.
general.
Ang susunod, ma'am, ay si Ina Hernando ng Manila Bulletin. Ina, go ahead.
Hello, good morning everyone. Good morning, Secretary. This is for Secretary Briones. Hello po.
Hi,
Ma'am,
Mother
as you
Ina.
observe the
Kasi,
As you observe the 48th.
I take her question seriously because she's a mother and she has children in school.
Okay po. This is my question, ma'am. As you observe the 48th anniversary of martial law declaration today, kindly give us an update on the teaching of martial law in the curriculum, especially now that we have reduced our K-12 curriculum into the most essential learning competencies.
That's a really nice, an excellent question. So I'll ask Dads, who is in charge of curriculum, to give us an update insofar as these issues. Kasi mga 4 years na yan, every year, of course, especially in relation to the budget, tinatanong yan. Dads?
Yusek Dads? Papa.
Actually, I've been not very good in memorizing what is in our most essential learning competencies, but I'm very sure the very critical and foundational competencies are covered. And as to the issue of the way martial law is being covered in the curriculum, I know that the ongoing curriculum review has been able to address this, and as it is. We make sure that the learners are provided an opportunity to have an objective perspective of what happened during that time. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, sir. Ina? Yep.
Yes, for my second question, it's for Yusek Maripoco. While she gave an update that there will be supplementary policy for the child protection policy, pwede po bang humingi ng parang initial updates on this, especially on the reporting of possible cases of abuse? Especially she mentioned a lot kanina that can happen under the home-based learning. So I think more on the reporting system, kung meron na pong initial na update on this.
Maraming salamat, Ina. Yusek Jo, ma'am?
Oo, salamat Ina sa tanong mo na nagbibigay pansin sa reporting ng mga kung sakali mang may abuso mangyari sa bahay. Kasama yan sa ating supplemental policy on child protection. In fact, merong isang annex doon na flow chart kung paano ang reporting pamula sa bahay. Lalo na kung ang abuso ay nangyari sa kamay ng magulang. Kaya katuwang po talaga natin dito ang local government, lalo na ang Barangay Council for the Protection of Children, at ang ating mga learning facilitators na maaaring bumisita sa mga bahay para matignan ang kalagayan ng mga bata sa kani-kanilang mga bahay. So merong magiging adjusted reporting system dahil nga nasa bahay ang mga bata at wala sa paaralan. Pero ganun pa rin, in essence ay ire-report pa rin sa eskwelahan, gagana pa rin yung ating Child Protection Committee para matiyak na merong mga interventions na maibibigay para sa ating mga batang na abuso at para maiwasan na muling mangyari. Salamat.
Thank you. Sir, last question na po. I think this is for you, Sec Dads. Follow up lang dun sa low periodical exam policy that is being proposed. Covered daw po ba dito yung mga private schools?
Miss Ina, yung private schools, as what we normally do, we strongly encourage them, but it is never prescriptive for them.
Okay, thank you so much po. Have a good day.
All right, maraming salamat, Ina, and thank you so much, Yusek Dads. Ang susunod po na magtatanong naman will be Maris Umali ng GMA. Maris? Wala po ata. Okay, next is Dante Amante ng UNTV. Dante? Good afternoon, Dante. I think there's connectivity problem. Maris, go ahead. Maris Umali ng GMA. All right, let's proceed kay Meg Adonis ng Inquirer. Meg?
Hi,
Good
good morning po. Ay, good afternoon po pala. So,
Go ahead.
my question is for Yusek Maribohok. I understand na meron po tayong magiging policies for child protection, but I would like to ask kung kasama po ba dito ang data privacy? Kasi last week, the data privacy education sector, which is backed by the NPC, released guidelines on protecting the privacy of children during online classes, such as seeking the consent of students or their parents or guardians if they are minors before recording classes, and reminding teachers to refrain from asking learners to submit requirements through social media. While they said that these are just recommendations, i-recommend din po ba natin ang guidelines na ito para sa ating public schools, particularly po sa basic education, especially since may mga iba naman pong mag-online classes kahit mga bata po sila. Thank you po.
Okay, maraming salamat sa katanungan at pagpapahalaga sa privacy ng ating mga bata. Oo, meron ngang nailabas noong nakaraang linggo na recommendation ang tawag doon sa guidelines ng data privacy of the education sector. Kalinyang-kalinya po nito yung ating kinakasang supplemental child protection policy. It's very much in line with what we are doing. And in fact, when we issued the supplemental policy, as a policy, it will become a rule. So unlike the guidelines that you mentioned, they are recommendations. So once those are adopted into policy, they become rules issued by the DepEd. And some of the themes actually on recording, seeking consent, use of images, all of those will be in the supplemental policy. And we hope to come out with that policy in the very near future, if not within the month, in the early part of next month. Thank you.
Thank you po. My second question, maybe for Secretary Briones or anyone who can answer for the DepEd. DILG USEC Malaya encouraged LGUs and the DepEd to discuss yung guidelines daw po sa pag-suspend ng classes this school year. Since typhoons could cause connectivity issues in some areas, may update na po ba kung meron na pong naging discussion at the regional or division levels? Thank you po.
Right now, we have an existing policy, and that has been enforced even before the COVID pandemic. And this policy mandates the local government units to declare holidays or cancellation of classes, especially as related to natural disasters. And so this policy is still enforced. Last word sila pa rin. But of course, it would be useful if there are also consultations with our people in the DepEd at the local levels. Pero yung principle na ang local governments pa rin ang magde-decide still holds, and that has not been changed at all. Like tama nga yung sinasabi ninyo na kung walang connectivity, you're in the middle of class, mag-brown out or whatever, sometimes you don't even need a declaration of cancellation because the brownout itself will cancel whatever level of communication one is already engaged in. So, at saka nasa creativity ng school kasi pag may brownout, even households, we always have alternatives to brownouts. We try to continue with our activities even if there are brownouts. Ganon din sa school ang ating gagawin. Pero local governments pa rin unless that is changed, unless that policy is changed. Thank you. Ayaw ko kung gusto magdagdag nandito ba si Yusek Revsi kasi siya sa operations o si Yusek Dads na involved sa actual operations ng mga schools. Pero itong mga decisions na ito are done at the level of the school itself. Kasi ang halimbawa yung mga natural disasters, hindi naman buong bansa apektado. It would be in localized places na sila mismo nakakaalam yung extent ng danger, ng risk, o the extent to which the conduct of classes are affected. obviously, pag mga brownout, ang mga online, mga dependent on IT will probably have problems, and other ways have to be worked out. Pero at the level of the school yan. Pero bottom line, it's still the local government. Yan ang paningin ko as Secretary of Education. Okay.
Thank you po.
Maraming salamat, Meg Gadonis. Ma'am, babasahin ko lang yung mga katanungan ni Maris Omali ng GMA po. Unang-una, tanong po niya dito, previously na-mention po yung pag-cancel muna sa mga periodical exam to prevent distance cheating. May we know the other specific measures to also prevent distance cheating daw po? I think Yusek Dads.
Yusek Dads.
Hello. Yes, we already mentioned that aside from minimizing the temptation for distance cheating, we feel that the periodic exam, which measures the learner's acquisition of content standards as articulated in the curriculum guide, could be addressed by summative and performance tasks, which are more inclusive and authentic in gauging learning growth and progress. Unlike periodic exam, which is based on a pen and paper examination, this summative and performance task could be delivered in various ways. Though we acknowledge the importance of periodic tests as a gauge of student learning, the current conditions necessitate us to become more creative and flexible in implementing summative assessment scheme without sacrificing assessment credibility. So what are the other things we do so that distance cheating may not be resorted to? Again, we said we appeal for the parents to take the lead in fostering the value of honesty. Parents or the grandparents or any home learning support provider should really make sure that this value is enhanced. The other thing that could be done is for the teachers to do occasional conversations with the learners. So it has not to be a test. It could just be a conversation focusing on the lessons covered so that the teacher could sense the extent the learners have actually understood the concepts expected to be learned for a particular period. Thank you.
If I may join the conversation, June, the matter of alternatives to periodical examinations has long been in practice by both public and private schools, even before COVID. Sa homeschooling, for example, and even in regular schooling, kasi there are many ways of assessing the progress of students other than periodical examinations. So it's nothing new. And also, it does not necessarily mean that these approaches were developed to prevent cheating. These are alternative ways of measuring of assessing the progress of a child in his or her learnings. So maraming and this has been done all the time, and it is practiced. Again, I cited this in one of our press conferences when last March, when the president declared that classes are closed. This happened during the time of the periodical exams, final exams. So we had to sit down and argue and figure out how we can assess the students fairly, even as the possibility of final examinations may not take place. Kasi mayroon na silang final exams, mayroong iba, wala pa. So nag-come out ang DepEd ng guidelines, but not necessarily to prevent cheating, but as alternatives in case there are events like the pandemic, events like floods and natural disasters, etc. So yun, iniisip yan ng Department of Education, and it is not new. It has always been there. lalo na as I said sa mga alternatives to regular schooling. Ginawa natin yan last March so that we could also assess our graduating senior high students and as well as the other grades as well. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, ma'am. Thank you so much, Yusek Dads. Pangalawang tanong po ni Maris is ito po. We've witnessed cases where online classes have been hacked. How have you strengthened the security of online classes to prevent these incidents? I think this is for Director Abram. Director Abram?
Hello, Director June. We are currently releasing po yung DepEd Learning Management System. Yung DepEd Learning Management System is a secure system na managed by DepEd talaga, where we are confident na hindi po tayo ma-hack yung mga ano ng ating mga kabataan. So we're also releasing actually mga email accounts, DepEd email accounts ng lahat ng mga bata. Ito yung gagamitin nila to log in to the DepEd Learning Management System so they can be protected from hackers.
All right. Thank you so much, Director Abram. Ang susunod po, we only have 12 minutes left. So ang susunod po na magtatanong, ma'am, is Jasmine Romero ng ABS-CBN. Jasmine, go ahead.
Magandang umaga po. Ay, tanghali na pala. Napag-usapan na po yung yung mga pamamaraan para mag-gauge yung level of learning ng mga students. Pero can you be more specific po? Ano po yung mga pamamaraan specifically paano mag-gauge ang mga estudyante na sila ay natututo? In relation din po sa online cheating.
Si Yusek Dads, you can answer that question.
Ma'am Liling, Director Lai is with us. I think she can fully explain the details. Si Director Lai na po para yung talagang detalyado na nasagot para kay Miss Jasmine.
Right, Director Leila Ariola, that's our director for BLD, ma'am. Go ahead po.
Good morning, Ma'am Secretary, and good morning po sa ating Execom and to everyone. Actually po, na-draft na po namin yung interim guidelines po namin ng assessment at inaantay na lang po namin na mailabas yun. And in the interim guidelines, it actually enumerates po yung mga assessments na pwedeng gagawin at ito yung meron tayong formative assessment at meron tayong din mga summative assessments. Na kung saan itong mga formative assessments natin ay kasama na po ito sa ating mga self-learning modules at sa mga other content formats nito kasi lagi pong nasasabi na itong mga self-learning modules na po na to ay na-convert to different content formats. So kasama pa rin po yung mga activities natin or yung mga formative assessments po natin na kinakailangang sasagutan ng mga bata. Napaka-importante po talaga yung binanggit ni Yusek Dads kanina na ang mga magulang natin, sila po yung talagang gabayan yung mga anak na kung saan sila po yung mag-answer sa mga activities na naibigay nakasama sa ating mga self-learning modules para sa ganon talagang makikita kung ang bata ay natututo sa pamamagitan ng self-learning modules, sa pamamagitan ng mga video lessons and audio lessons po natin. At itong mga SLMs po natin ay meron pong kasamang answer key doon po sa likod na ito dapat titingnan lang pagkatapos na answeran ng bata. So, ibig sabihin, pag ginamit niya itong answer key na to at nakita niya kung ano yung mga hindi pa niya natutuhan, pwede niyang balikan yon at aralin ulit. So, napaka-importante talaga na hayaan natin yung bata na siya ang sasagot niya. So, meron din tayong mga performance task na ibibigay sa ating mga bata at ito yung mag-gauge ng kanilang kung gaano nila na-master yung mga content standards. So, Lahat ng mga ito ay maibibigay sa ating mga anak. So meron ding summative test, mabibigyan pa rin sila ng mga quizzes, meron pa rin silang mga long exams para makikita kung gaano nila na-master yung kanilang inaral po. Maraming salamat po.
Dr. Jean, I'd also like to ask the same question for the parents and the student groups. Sa parte naman nila, paano nila masisiguro na mga learners at sa online cheating or distance learning cheating?
Siguro, Jasmine, we can start by asking Attorney Ron Perez ng FPTA dahil meron silang Parents Academy sa Baguio. Attorney Ron?
Hello, Director June. Thank you for your question, Ma'am Jasmine. Well, as for us, we are really advocating yung GMRC, good manners and right conduct. And with that, we are also training the parents not to meddle on the affairs of the children, considering that sila po ang kailangan matuto, and tayo naman na parent, partner po tayo in the as effective learning continuity facilitators. And we really would like to advocate yung GMRC. Kung dyan pa lang, kailangan natin maging honest, and we need to have these good morals and right conduct. Thank you.
All right, maraming salamat, Attorney Ron Perez, FPTA President siya ng Baguio City, ma'am. And then maybe also ask si Ma'am Bonnie Coraños Manlunas, ang FPTA ng Antipolo. Ma'am, go ahead po, Ma'am Bonnie.
Yes po. Hello po, Ms. Jasmine. Thank you po sa tanong. With regards po dyan, I think this is the time. Very timely talaga siya. Kasi ngayon, nakasama natin ang mga bata sa bahay. This is the role of the parents na i-insert talaga, i-assert yung values education. Sa loob pa lang mismo ng bahay, dapat talagang yun ang natututunan. Diba? Lagi nating sinasabi, before natin pakawalan ng mga bata sa labas, dapat talagang nabuo na sa loob ng bahay yung proper values ng bata. So kung I do believe na kung properly ang pagpapalaki ng mga magulang, laging na ituturo yung tamang disiplina, na ituturo yung mga values sa loob ng bahay at napapractice siya, so definitely cheating will not prosper. Even dito sa bahay, I have 4 kids and nag-participate sila sa dry run, during the dry run sa schools. And ako personally, hindi ako nakialam during sa pagsasagot nila ng mga modules. And nakita ko kung paano sila nag-effort na intindihin, unawain. And besides, since talaga nagsimula sila mag-schooling, ang ano namin dito, usapan is, you do it first. If you don't understand, then that's the time na papasok kami ng mga magulang to help you answer the assignments or the homeworks. Pero hindi pwedeng kami agad. You have to make an effort muna para intindihin. Kasi at the end of the day, ang lagi kong sinasabi sa mga bata, at the end of the day, it will be you who will be graded. It will be your effort. So dapat talaga yung values na i-instill talaga sa mga bata. And lagi kong sinasabi yan sa mga co-officers ko, sa mga parents namin dito sa division, na mahalaga na ngayon nakasama natin ang mga bata, maibuo talaga yung values formation o talagang ma-instill sa mga bata yung values formation ngayon, lalo na panahon ng pandemic, at talagang magkakasama ang buong pamilya, both the father and the mother, although they are working, pero most of the time mas marami yung oras na i-stay nila sa bahay, na nakakasama nila yung mga bata.
Alright, maraming salamat, Ma'am Bonnie. Siguro we can ask one of the student leaders. We can also ask Aliyah siguro, Aliyah Sayo. Siya po ang president ng SSG Ilocos Sur National High School. Aliyah?
Good morning, Sir June. Good morning, Ma'am Jacqueline. For me naman po, ang comment ko naman doon sa online cheating, siguro dito may incorporate yung subjects like sinabi po ni Attorney Ron na GMRC, yung values education, and yung edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. Kasi we highly encourage our fellow students na dapat, to be honest, ika nga nila, honesty is the best policy. Kasi kung we will cheat, kami din naman yung maapektuhan nito eh. Like, kumbaga, we do not know kung titingin lang kami ng answers or we'll hack accounts or what. Syempre, yes, we will get high scores, but wala naman kaming natututunan or hindi naman pumapasok sa amin yung natututunan namin. So, we encourage our fellow students to answers the modules and honestly, and meron naman kagaya naming officers like Supreme Student Government na they can tap para if ever kailangan nila ng help in like peer tutoring, they can tap us kung basta kaya namin, and they can also tap our teachers and also our parents po.
Maraming salamat, Aliyah. So, yun. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
If I may comment,
Go ahead, ma'am.
ang ganda ng question ni Jasmine dahil ang response nang gagaling sa iba't ibang mga players sa education, and sila mismo ang nagsasabi, ang parents, ang teachers, ang officials at ang mga bata kung ano ang mga steps. That was really an excellent subject of discussion. Sana lalabas i-report naman sa media maliban sa mga GMRC elsewhere.
Ayun. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ang susunod na magtatanong, ma'am, is si John Eric Mendoza ng Manila Times. John Eric, go ahead.
Good morning po. Question po kay Director Abram po. About po dun sa Guinness Book World of Records na mention niyo po kanina. Ano po yung metrics ng record o additional details lang po about po dun sa Guinness Book World of Records?
Records, ito yung program vid kanina sa TV episode, you mean, sir?
Yes, sir. Opo. Sa DepEd TV po.
Well, teka, i-share ko ulit, no?
Bali, sir, may record po ba tayo na ibibit o gagawa po tayo ng sarili nating record?
Well, sir, so ngayon wala pang grupo in worldwide no na nakakapag-produce ng 130 episodes na in this short span of time. So actually in 1 month's time magpo-produce po tayo ng 130 na TV episodes para lang sa ating kabataan. At hindi ito para lang sa October 5. Every week magpo-produce tayo ng 130 episodes. So times 4 nasa 1,200 ang lalabas for 1 month. So never pa yan nagawa worldwide. Yung ganitong volume of TV production for television.
Bali, sir, i-apply niyo po ba to sa Guinness or lumapit po yung mga tao sa Guinness about po dito?
Yes, sir. I-arrange namin na mag-apply kami sa Guinness Book of Records once ma-produce na namin yung mga episodes natin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you po, sir. Thank you po. Another question po kay Yusek Dads po. About naman po to dun sa may nabanggit po siya recently na hindi po bibili ng textbook yung DepEd this year. So expound lang po doon. Dahil po ba to sa modules na mas priority po ng DepEd ngayon, yung pag-produce or paggamit po ng modules? Thank you po.
Yung desisyon na priority yung SLMs, talagang iyon talaga kasi ang mas kailangan natin. Sa distance learning, ang pinaka-importanting learning resource ay self-learning modules. Kaya nga ang textbook, while pwede ring gamitin, pwedeng mag-supplement. At ang ginawa rin nating remedyo ay yung mga nandyan na available, i-distribute natin, minapa na natin ito sa ating most essential learning competencies at sinabi na natin sa field, pinaliwanag na kung gagamitin yung textbook ay kailangan may weekly learning plan at mayroong activity sheets na ihahanda ang mga guro para magamit ito. So for this year, yung 2020, yung allocation talaga ay nirecommend namin na sa SLMs muna. Pero sa next year, dahil ina-anticipate natin na mag-normalize na ulit, ay naglaan na rin po ulit tayo ng textbook procurement, and at the same time, yung pong private sector sa quarter 3 and quarter 4 na SLMs ay kaisasali po natin. May mga pag-uusap na po kami na ang pangatlo at pang-apat na quarters ay tutulungan na tayo ng private sector sa pag-develop at pag-produce ng self-learning modules.
Thank you, sir. Thank you po.
All right. Thank you so much, John Eric. We have last three, ma'am. So I'll be asking our media friends to ask just one question na lang po kasi we're running out of time. So last three na po. We have Shaila Francisco ng TV5. Shaila, go ahead.
Good afternoon po. My question is about the DepEd TV. Of the 24.5 enrollees po, ilan po yung target nating maka-benefit sa DepEd TV? And in terms of assessment, I know parents will play a big role, pero how often po mag-check or papasok ng teachers to assure an objective assessment dun sa performance ng students po?
Director Abram, go ahead. Yep.
Director June, if I may, pwede ko masagot yung coverage
Sure.
ng TV.
Go ahead.
No? So sa recent statistics natin sa Kantar based on 2019 survey, 88% ng ating households ay may access sa television at most likely tumaas pa nga yan noong 2020. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Abram. And then dun sa other question, Yusek Dads, go ahead po.
Yung assessment, kahit anong klaseng distance learning delivery modality ang pinili, ay yung pa rin mga sinasabi namin na performance tasks at written outputs. At sinasabi rin natin na most likely ang magiging usong-usong ngayon sa panahon ng distance learning natin ay portfolio assessment. So yung mga bata ay magko-construct ng kanilang mga portfolio sang-ayon sa mga pinapagawa sa kanila sa bawat learning area kung nasaan sila.
And thank you so much, Yusek Dads and Director Abram. Maraming salamat, Shaila. And then second to the last, ma'am, na magtatanong ay si Bons Magsambol ng Rappler. Bons?
Hello po. Good afternoon, Secretary Briones. This question is for Yusek Dads. Quick question lang siya. Okay. Yun, in terms of modular learning, I'm just wondering po, kasi parang di ba nabanggit natin before na modular learning is the backbone of the DepEd's distance learning. So is it safe po ba to say that all public schools in the country will use this mode, as the rest, such as online and TV, would just supplement it? If not po, ilan po kaya dun sa 47,000 na public schools yung gagamit ng modular learning? Thank you po.
Miss Bons, ang sinasabi nating backbone, yung modules mismo, yung self-learning modules, ang backbone na lang ng lahat ng distance learning delivery modality. So kung mag-online ka, magdi-digital offline o magti-TV, lahat yun naka-anchor sa mga ginawang self-learning modules. Yung sinasabing popular choice, yung printed learning modules, sa aming pagtatantya, 59% ng mga learners ang most likely gagamit nito. At yung mga ibang delivery modalities ay hindi kasing popular. Pero ang nakikita rin natin, at of course we are encouraging this also, yung mga lugar na namimigay ang mga local governments ng mga gadgets ay sa mga susunod na quarter ay hindi na natin sila ipaprioritize sa mga printed self-learning modules kasi nga gusto rin naman nating ma-protect yung environment at honestly yung pagtitipid din kasi magastos talaga itong inililimbag na ito, although dahil nga distance learning tayo, kailangan talagang may self-learning modules na available sa mga bata.
Okay. So one quick follow-up po. So just to clarify, for now...
Sandali, can I add, make an additional comment?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, it is true na more than 60%. Kasi based ito sa mga advice galing sa parents at sa mga bata. Kasi tinanong sila kung anong preferred mode ang gusto nila. This was during the enrollment period. And they expressed a preference for printed modules. But it does not mean, Bonds, that we will be staying forever and ever and ever in printed modules. Because the direction ngayon of learning and many human activities is towards increasing use of technology and other means of delivering information. So it's very likely that will change. Sinabi ko na ito during one of our press conferences, or is it even in Congress itself, that even as you have how many percent of our teachers, 80% ba yun, or how many hundreds thousands of smartphones are circulating in this country, etc. Pero pag sabihin mo what is your preferred mode of learning, they go to modular. So parang hindi pa masyadong nako-connect sa ang usefulness ng technology halimbawa and other delivery modes to the learning process. Kasi yung cellphone mo is for communicating, is for chika, is for music, it's for many other things, but not necessarily connected to learning. But that will change as we go along, at makikita nila na you can transmit learning, lessons, etc. through other delivery modes other than the printed. Kasi sinabi na ni Yusek Dads, and kami na-recognize namin yan, that it's not only very expensive, kasi ang pag-print, papel, etc., the process, but it's also harmful to the environment. And since we are moving also towards international and regional assessments and other ways by which we assess our students, these assessments usually utilize technology. Yung mga international assessments halimbawa, technology ang ginagamit, hindi naman modular on a global scale. So NCR recognizes this kasi in NCR you still have many schools and learners wanting modular, yun, as of this time. Pero with local governments providing each and every student with tablets and with computers, Manila is 1.2 billion ang kanilang investment for each child. Quezon City is 2.6 billion because Quezon City is very large for the students. So mayroong attraction or drawing power na ito, and also because we know that it is necessary na hindi lang exclusively printed module. Kasi we will really not only use up our budget, but we will also use up all our trees, which is of course, it would be a big tragedy if this continues. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, one quick follow-up po kay Yusek Dad. By saying po ba na 59%, are you pertaining to the 23 million public students or the 47,000 public schools?
We are referring to the learners.
Okay po.
Ang learners yan.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bonds Magsambol ng Rappler. Ang huling magtatanong, ma'am, si Noel Talakay ng Malaya Business. Noel, go ahead.
Hello po. Hello po, good afternoon. Isang question lang po. Yung nasaan na po yung ilang school na po nakapag-dry run? Kasi last week para nasa more than 30,000 po, di ba? So may natitira pa po 12,000. So as of today po, ilan na po ang natapos na po yung dry run? Thank you.
As of this morning, 30,614 schools ang according to our records. Pero madadagdagan ito kasi halos every day may mga dry runs which are being conducted, and we still have, as I said, 14 days to go. So mahahabol ito sa tingin ko.
Thank you.
All right, maraming salamat. Okay, maraming. Go ahead, ma'am. Apa. Nakamute kayo, ma'am. Nakamute po ata.
I was just saying that the latest number is 30,614. Last week pa ito. So may bagong numbers pa. As of today, nadagdagan siguro yon. As of Friday, 30,614 schools.
Si Yusek Jess, nandito ma'am. Si Yusek Jess po.
Ayun pala. Oo.
Yusek Jess, go ahead po.
Mabuti yan.
Hi, Director. Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Director June.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, ma'am, yung sa last reporting ng mga regional directors nung last week, I think Thursday yon yung nag-mancom tayo. 30,000 plus nga yung nagtapos na ng dry run. There are 12,000 ongoing yung dry run. And tomorrow, the committee will also meet again. We will know the actual figures na kung sigurado ako madadagdagan yan, as you said nga, kasi meron mga 12,000 pang nakabang. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Director June.
Ayan, thank you so much, sir. Maraming salamat, ma'am. And si Noel na po yung ating huling kasamaan sa media na magtatanong. So at this point, I would like to ask our Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction para sa kanyang panghuling salita. Yusek Dads, go ahead po.
Thank you very much, Director June. Good afternoon ulit, Ma'am Liling and my peers in the EXICOM. Good afternoon din po sa ating mga kabahagi dito sa ginagawang press con sa media. Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa DepEd, kina Nicole, ki Abigail, mga estudyanteng namumuno sa kanilang mga paaralan sa pagbigay ng larawan kung ano ang mga ginagawa nila. Mga malikhaing ginagawa upang masiguro na ang learning continuity ay mangyayari sa mga kasama nilang kabataan na pinaninilbihan ng DepEd. Bibigay din po tayo ng saludo at pasasalamat sa mga magulang na naging bahagi ng ating press con ngayon, si Sir Edmond, si Attorney Ron, si Madam Bonnie. Napaka-inspiring po ang inyong mga ibinahaging estratehiya kung paano ang mga magulang makakatulong upang totoong matuto ang ating mga anak habang po mayroon tayong distance learning delivery modality. Siyempre po, nagpapasalamat din tayo kay Yusek Jo Maribuhok sa pagbigay ng updates kung ano ang mga ginagawa para masiguro na ang mga bata ay mayroong proteksyon kahit po may panahon ng pandemya. At siyempre po kay Director Abram, thank you very much for the updates as well on DepEd TV and other things. Again po, palagi nating aalalahanin na ang trabaho talaga ng DepEd ay ihanda ang kabataan para sa kanilang mga kinabukasan. Kung handa po ang isip, handa sila bukas. Salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Ayan, maraming salamat. That's Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio ng Curriculum and Instruction. So ayun po, dito na po nagtatapos ang 7th edition ng ating Handang Isip Handa Bukas Virtual Press Conference. Samahan niyo po kami sa susunod na Lunes para po sa ibang mga updates patungkol sa pagbubukas ng ating mga klase. At this juncture, I would like to thank our parents, our learners, our teachers na until now ay nakasubaybay sa ating live stream sa DepEd Philippines. And of course, again, I would like to thank our media partners na until now walang sawang nagsisyndicate ng ating live feed ng ating weekly press conference like Tirad Pass Network ng Ilocos Sur, Planet Cable DWAT Teleradyo, CLTV 36, Romblon Cable, Kabangkalan Community Antenna Cable, Camiguin Island Cable TV Corporation at Calibo Cable TV Network. And of course, I would like to thank our resource persons po, ang ating mga spokespersons, and ang president ng SSG Ilocos Sur National High School, Aliyah Nicole Sayog. Pakita ka, Aliyah. Turn on your camera. Okay. Thank you so much. And then,
thank you din po for this opportunity.
and then we have Ana Abigail Ticson, president ng SSG San Pablo City Science Integrated High School. Abigail, turn on your camera.
Ayan, hello po ulit. Thank you for the opportunity.
Saan ano ito? Saan high school? Science High School? Which one?
San Pablo, ma'am.
City po.
Saan?
San Pablo City Science Integrated
okay,
High School.
Oo.
Hello po.
Maayos
Good
naman ang
afternoon po.
performance ng Laguna. Yes, oo. High school choir. Elementary at high school. Mayroon pang rondalya. Ang galing-galing talaga. Mga bata ito. So, tonto ako kasi binabalansi kasi yung art at saka other, sabi nila na hard subjects. Oo, hindi natin iwanan. Oo.
And then also, we also have Attorney Ron Perez, ma'am, ang FPTA President ng Baguio City. Attorney Ron. Ayun, and of course, si Ma'am Bonnie Coranias Manlunas.
Ay performing ang Baguio sa English, sa PISA.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, ito dating teacher, si Ma'am Bonnie Coranias Manlunas, FPTA President ng Antipolo City. Ma'am Bonnie.
Hello, Bonnie.
And of course, thank you so much sa ating Undersecretary for Legal Affairs, Yusek Josephine Maribohok, and Director Abram Abanil, and of course kay Yusek Dads, Yusek Jess, and Yusek Ann. Maraming salamat po. Yun po, sabi nga ni Yusek Dads, sa pamamagitan ng ating pagsama-sama, naihahanda natin ang ating sarili, no, para sa pagbubukas ng ating klase sa October 5. So ito po si Jun Arvin Godoy ng Public Affairs Service, handang isip, handa bukas. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. Salamat. Thank you. I-share ninyo ang discussions. Oo. Napakaganda, napaka-inspiring. Oo.